Dragons in the skies, fire from the boughs, wisdom flowing fast, ancient temples bow, mountains echo tales, ancestors crying loud, heroes of the past, legends worn proud. On golden silk roads, history unfolds, mystics in the night, secrets they hold. Great walls shadow long, warriors in rows, in the courtyard's light, a lotus flower grows. Orchids in the wind, laughter from the light, truth within the sand, cities bathed in light. Tigers leap through time, rivers serpentine, harmony and chaos living by design. Phoenix rise anew, feathers burning blue, forest whisper soft, mind open and true. Scrolls of hidden art, sages they confide, ticking of the jade, time won't divide. Battles lost and won, emperors do reign, people marching on, dreams still remain. Peasant to the king, stories intertwined, every single soul walking a fine line. Orchids in the wind, laughter from the light, truth within the sand, cities bathed in light. Tigers leap through time, rivers serpentine, harmony and chaos living by design.
Yeah, I've been through the shadows, walked in the night, seen the world get heavy, try to crush my light. The hope keeps burning deep in my soul, the flame that won't fade, yeah, it keeps me whole. When life gets rough and the clouds roll in, hope is the anchor that pulls me again. In the darkest of times, when all seems lost, hope breaks through no matter the cost. Hope never dies, it shines through the pain, through every storm, every drop of rain. When the world goes dim and I'm down to my knees, hope lifts me up, sets my spirit free. They say light can't shine without a little dark. Hope's that spark, yeah, it ignites the heart when the path ain't clear. Every storm, every drop of rain. When the world goes dim and I'm down to my knees, hope lifts me up, sets my spirit free. Hope's like the sun after endless rain. It's a light that heals, it's a balm for pain. It don't fade, don't break, don't bend. It's the beat of my heart, my forever friend. So when I'm lost, I look to the sky. Hope's in the stars, it's the reason why. Why stand, why rise, why I keep on fighting. Hope's my armor when the world starts biting. It whispers, hold on, don't give up yet. Through every tear, through every regret, hope's the fire that never goes out. Through every struggle, every doubt, hope never dies, it shines through the pain. Through every storm, every drop of rain. When the world goes dim and I'm down to my knees, hope lifts me up, sets my spirit free. Hope's like the sun after endless rain. It's a light that heals, it's a balm for pain. It don't fade, don't break, don't bend. It's the beat of my heart, my forever friend. So when I'm lost, I look to the sky. Hope's in the stars, it's the reason why. Why I stand, why I rise, why I keep on fighting. Hope's my armor when the world starts biting. It whispers, hold on, don't give up yet. Through every tear, through every regret, hope's the fire that never goes out. Through every struggle, every doubt, through every struggle, every doubt, hope never dies.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm the dust at the feet of God's servants. Only God is special. Welcome back. Hope you guys are having an amazing Monday. Hopefully your week started off great. Welcome back. Let me just load up the chat because I've not got it up at the moment. Don't know if anyone's actually there, but I do what I do. Talk to myself. I just keep talking to myself. Alright, let's go. There we go, yep. Sweet. Oh, Jitten's here, says, what's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome back, Jitten. How are you, sir? Hope you're having a good day, whatever you've been up to. I am just kind of working on a little side project here at the moment as I'm about to start streaming. The idea just came to me as I was about to start streaming, so I was like, "Ooh, maybe I'll do this." But yeah, I hope you're having a good day, pal. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are. Today, chilling and talking about the path to freedom. So since it's just you and me, Jitten, hope you're still there. Otherwise, it'll just be me. It'll just be me talking to myself, and I ain't got no problems with that. It's just wait. It's just that obviously, if there's anything in particular you wanted to talk about, I was going to run through that. Otherwise, I'll just go off on my little spiel and talk about whatever I'm going to talk about in regards to the path to freedom. This stream is set to self-destruct. I don't know why, but I've recently decided to self-destruct streams as soon as I'm done with them. I did leave the last ones on for overnight and stuff in case anyone wanted to rewatch it, but I don't know. I'm just feeling that I should self-destruct these particular streams at the moment, so yeah. It's set to self-destruct after it's over, but that is what it is. I might re-upload them one day. Or I might pass these videos on to someone who can actually do some good with them. Hopefully. We'll see what happens. As I say, go with the flow, trust in the plan, and take it step by step. There's no point jumping ahead, rushing ahead. But obviously also moving forwards with discernment. It's always important to move forward with discernment. Not just pure emotions, but a balance between the emotions and the mind. I'll show you what I'm doing in a second, guys. Yeah, so the path to freedom. Obviously, I am the devil, so when I talk about freedom, it's a true liberation. It's a true liberation of the karmic cycle. It's breaking free of patterns that don't serve you. It's breaking free of the patterns that don't serve you and lead you to self-destruction. It's letting go of those. So this will probably be a bit of deep stream. I might end up crying a little bit, so if you want to save that for any particular reason, you're more than welcome to try and record the stream. But essentially, yeah, it's the path of coming out of these karmic cycles that we're in and truly moving forward in a way that serves you rather than holds you back. The funny thing is, the best way to do this is by moving forwards. As I always say, this is why I always say move forwards, because there's not a lot you can do holding on to the past. There's not a lot you can do where you're trying to control the future. At some points, you have to be able to let go and move forwards. And that's where the real growth happens. You know, I use plants as an example all the time. In regards to plants growing, they don't grow when they are trying to stay low to the ground, and they don't grow just thinking about how nice it would be up in the sun. It's only in the present moment of actually growing and moving forwards that do they end up getting where they want to be. So obviously everyone's different. Everyone wants something out of life that's unique to them. You know, there's some people out there that want love. There's some people who want chaos. Some people who want harmony. Some people want peace. Some people want destruction. Everybody wants something different. Everybody, and the funny thing is, in different parts, in different phases of your life, you might want different things. You might want different things. So it's never always a fixed thing. So the only thing that is like 100% guaranteed that everybody wants, well, I hope everybody wants, is some kind of freedom. I don't think people want to be locked into servitude or being a slave for anyone. I don't think anyone wants that, unless you're dumb like me. If you're dumb like me, then you get some satisfaction out of serving people and helping people. But if you're normal, which I think most people are, because I am the problem, I think if most people are normal, they want to be free. And freedom is priceless. Freedom is beautiful. Honestly, freedom is beautiful. And I want people to be free. When I've seen people truly free, honestly, it's the best. It's the best to see people who are truly free. I don't like seeing people in servitude. I don't like people being controlled or manipulated. Hence why the whole thing about me talking about truth all the time, saying that we need to stop with the bullshit and get to the truth. Because it's only in truth that you have true freedom, you know? How can you say you're free if you constantly have to lie? If you constantly have to watch what you're saying because you don't want to offend anyone. No, you stick to the truth. And sometimes, like I said, it may hurt. But you don't say the truth to hurt people. You say the truth to help people. But obviously, once again, like I always say, you can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves. So you could only try and assist in helping someone, but they have to help themselves, because essentially, as much as you are walking the path next to them holding their hand, they have to be able to use their own 2 feet and move forward as well. You know, you can't drag them. Like I said yesterday, you can't be dragging people across and go, no, you're coming with me. No. It has to be that ability of walking on their own 2 feet. So I think I'm done with my little project. So there we go. It's my thingy mask, my gold mask. It had loads of cracks where the paint had peeled off. And I decided to paint in the cracks. Because that's what happens in life. Excuse me. Shit happens in life, and sometimes you get a few cracks in you. And I've kind of shown this illustration in a different way before, where I've said, like, the heart, when it breaks and you put it back together again, it kind of... You put it back together with the pieces, and you might color different pieces differently, and yeah, it becomes like a stained glass window almost. Your heart becomes like a stained glass window, and it's not just one color, it's multicolored, because everybody is more than just one thing. Everybody is more than one thing. They've got a little bit of everything in them. And as I say, gold is about refinement. Anyways, that was my little project. I'm done with that now. I'll put that to the side. Welcome back. Alright, Jitten says, not bad, doing well. How was your day? That looks good. Thank you. Day was good. Challenging. Sad. Everything. All range of emotions in the day. As, you know, in life. As in life. That's the adventure of life, isn't it? That you don't know what's going to happen. You try to walk forwards the best you can. And things happen. Things that make you happy. Things that make you sad. Things that make you confused. But it is what it is. And we just got to try and learn from it and grow from it and move forwards. And like I always say, I'm still growing as well. You know? Nobody's perfect. You can't expect anybody to be perfect, but you want people to try their best, and if the best isn't good enough, ask for help. I think that's the best thing. You know, you want to try your best for yourself, but like I said, in regards to the two people walking together on the path, you want someone's hand to hold sometimes, to know that you've got the support there, just in case you need it. You might not always need it, but just in case you need it, you should always kind of like have your hand ready to be held by someone who needs some kind of assistance or guidance. But it's not about dragging them along. It's about walking together in truth. Walking together in truth. I kind of see it like it's a really bad reference, but I kind of see it like Bonnie and Clyde, or Joker and Harley Quinn, where they are just themselves, and it's them against the world. You know, it's not them against each other. It's them against the world. You need that kind of relationship and mentality where you're walking together hand in hand. Anyways, I'm kind of like riffing at the moment, but it's what I do. Yeah, I think it's important to have someone to walk beside you, and I want everyone to have someone to walk beside them, and to keep moving forwards. To keep moving forwards regardless of what happens. That's the price of freedom. That's the price of freedom. Freedom isn't free. It comes through overcoming challenges. And sometimes these challenges are really tough. They might break you, but it's about putting yourself back together again, to the point where you overcome these challenges in the future. You don't need somebody else to fix you. You need to be able to fix yourself. But like I say, you could always take help from others. They can't fix you, but they can help. You know, unless you've got a healer in your life. If you've got a healer in your life, he'd help. But I think healers want honesty. You know, if a healer walks into your room and he's like, "All right, where does it hurt?" and you're like, "My leg." He'll try and heal your leg, but it's not the leg that's the problem. It's the broken arm or the head injury or whatever. You need to be honest with the healer. If you are lucky enough to come across a healer, but he can only help you if you're willing to be honest and help yourself. People It's like I think D would actually understand this. It's like when people turn to Jesus, but they're not honest. When people turn to Jesus and they're not honest about what they want, or about their sins, or about truly being repentant, then Jesus can't help them. You know, how can Jesus heal someone if they're lying about why they are where they are, or you know what I mean? Jesus would need the truth in order to heal them, you know, especially if, like I said, if you're pointing down at your leg and your leg's fine, you'll go, okay, your leg's fine now. I was like, oh yeah, look, great. Yeah, but it was never the leg. The leg was never the issue. The leg was never the issue. It was this or that. You know what I mean? So you have to be honest with God. You have to be honest with God and truly kind of like tell him what it is that needs healing, so he can assist you with that healing. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? That is the path to freedom. And it's tough. It's tough being open and honest with people, but it's really important because, well, not with people, with yourself and God, or a healer if you've got a healer in your midst. The path to freedom is long, it's tough, and it'd be, I think I've either heard D say this before, or the Jewish guys I kind of watch every once in a while. When God made man, he said it is not good for man to be alone, so he made Eve. So God doesn't want us to be alone. He doesn't want us to be alone. He wants us to have that support. And sometimes we get lost in the source, you know, we get lost in the games and the life and all that bullshit. But it's important to have that someone who is there for you and you're there for them. And not in codependency, not in a codependency where you walk independently. You're not dragging them along. They're not dragging you along. You walk independently, but you're holding hands and you're moving forwards together. I hope these analogies are coming through okay. It's an analogy I used just the other day, so it's still in my head, and I think that it's a beautiful analogy, you know, especially with the picture I kind of found for this live stream. It's like, where was it? There it is. It's like walking through like a row of flowers, and then like you got the red petals, the red flowers, the yellow flowers, the blue flowers, you got the butterflies. You know, you want to walk through the life of, the garden of life with someone, because I've always said this as well. The best things in life are shared. The best things in life are shared. If you're having a really, really good experience, you would want to share it with someone you cared about, you know? You don't want to do it alone. You could do it alone, don't get me wrong. You could do a lot of things alone. I've done a lot in my life alone. But even I know that even though I was okay alone, meaning that I wasn't depressed, I was still enjoying the moment, I know that if I had someone by my side, it would be so much sweeter. So much sweeter. For both of us. For both of us. So you want to find someone that walks beside you. But. Make sure you do the work on yourself first, so that you are walking independently. Because you don't want to be dragging anyone. You don't want anyone dragging you. You want to walk side by side, and you could focus on the beautiful garden around you without having to worry about dragging anyone along or seeing how far behind they fell or anything like that. You want to be in the same place together, on the same page together, you know. And I don't know. I think it translates to loads of different experiences in life. I think it translates to a lot of different things in life. It's like, say if you're working on a particular project, you want to work on the project together. You don't want to be doing the project where you're trying to teach the other person about the project while you're working on the project together. You want to be both actively involved. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that you have to have the exact same level of understanding, but it's just I'll give you an example. So obviously today, as you guys may be aware, me and Suvi met up for making the birdhouse. So the structure and stuff of the birdhouse, I was kind of doing, and I was sawing, and I was doing whatever. While I was doing that, Suvi was thinking about the colors, what color we're gonna paint it, you know, because that's something I wouldn't even thought about. I would have just left it natural, natural. But she was like, "Oh yeah, what color shall we paint it? We could do it this paint, and we do like different colors and stuff." So everyone has their own unique skills or something they bring to the table. They don't have to be a carbon copy of you. It's just that you complement each other as you walk in life. Beautiful life. Shivites is here. Big up, Shivites. Hope you're having a good day. Hope your Monday's going good. You know, start of the week. It's got to start off right. Ouch. Oh. Sometimes when I drink, my hair gets caught on the can. Jitten says, do you type your greetings every time, or do you have... I'm sure he's got it on a notepad. That definitely on a notepad. God, could you imagine him typing that every single time? I'm Namaya Shivaya. Welcome back, Shivites. Welcome back. Big up, big up. So yeah. The path of freedom. Just so I have a understanding exactly, where are you guys on your path? Just so I can try and relate it a bit more to something, you know, that's more relevant to you. I know Jitten said he broke up with his ex recently, but how about you, Shivites? How are you on your path? Have you found someone to walk alongside with yet? Have you only just come on this journey? Well, I think you've been on this journey a while, based on some of the stuff you say. But yeah, whereabouts are you guys? Jitten asks, is Suvi your ex-girlfriend? I wish. I wish. She's an old friend I had, and she's an amazing person. We recently got back in contact, and yeah, she's awesome. But I don't know if ex-girlfriend would be the right description for it. We're good friends. We're good friends. Best of friends, as she likes to say. But I don't know right now. I don't know right now. I think she hates me again. It's a love-hate relationship. It's a love-hate relationship. It's never static. It's never static. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Everyone's on different parts of the journey. Everyone's on different parts of the journey. But she's amazing. D, welcome back, says DD, just getting in. Did you do the park today? We'll have to go back and replay. Yes, I was just saying that went to the park, did part of the birdhouse. Couldn't complete it because we didn't have time. Did parts of it, and I'm gonna try and work on it a little bit in the evening after I get off the stream. So this isn't gonna be a super late one, but I'll be working on that a little bit later. But yeah, had fun, had arguments, had everything. You know, life things. Shiva says, yeah, West London, and I am finally understanding what reality is all about. This world. Oh, awesome. Awesome. It's a tough journey. It's a tough journey, and it's good to have, because I think you said, no, I thought you said family, and finally understanding. Yeah, I hope you got someone to help you along this journey. I hope you got someone to help you along this journey. It's important to have someone who supports in this journey. I could tell you from personal experience that there was times I thought I was going absolutely nuts. There was times where I felt like the end was nigh. I still think the end is nigh, to be honest. For me, anyway. I think it's important to have someone by your side. Really damn important to have someone by your side. So if you do have someone, appreciate them more. Okay, appreciate them more. And try and help them as much as they help you. D says, sounds good, DD. Life with DD and Suvi and Christ. Just believe in the fullness of God, His blood atonement. Everything will be alright in y'all's life. My life's been, as much as I enjoy life, even though it's not always good, it's been a shit show. It's been a shit show. Okay, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's been a bit of a shit show. But it is what it is, you know? It is what it is. We learn from every kind of situation, especially in life. So, yeah, it is what it is. I'm just hoping that everyone else can be happy, you know? Try and make sure that, people can really, truly appreciate life as much as I do. Because if I can appreciate when it's shit, and everyone else's life is going good, then they should appreciate it so much more. They should really, 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 really appreciate it so much more. D says, I love you all. God will work all things to the good. To those that love Him, accept His gift, grace. Just believe. That's simple. Accept, believe in His loving grace. Jen says, I'm an atheist and a nihilist at the moment, but absurdist. That's where I am right now. That's... Not gonna lie, that's a tough place to be. That's a tough place to be. Honestly, like, the only reason I got through some of the shit I have in life is because I knew God was there. Is because I knew God was there, and regardless of what was happening, how I felt, I knew I could lean on God. Even though he gave me more shit to deal with, while I was dealing with it, he'd help me kind of like keep moving forward, and you come to greener pastures. Obviously, I'm not saying the grass is always greener on the other side. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying sometimes when you are moving forwards, you got to have that patience. You might be going through a dark forest with like scary sounds and all this stuff in life. You might be in one of those kind of situations, but if you can sit down and kind of like start rocking backwards and forwards and just thinking, oh no, I'm going to be stuck here forever. It's so scary. It's the worst place ever. Or you could keep moving forwards. And if you can't see the light at the end, that's when God comes in. That's when God comes in to kind of like remind you that he's there. To remind you he's there and he's walking with you through everything. D says, Jitten, believe in the one that loves you, purpose and reason. You are born to serve the Lord. I accept, believe in the Father's loving grace, that he came down, he made a way for us all. Just believe, faith as a grain of mustard seed. Yeah, that's it. You don't need that full spiritual experience, because I never had the full spiritual experience. For me, it was always just the faith. It was always the faith of, yeah, I know God is there. I don't know why I had the faith, but I had the faith. It was just like, yeah, God's always there. I just had this knowing that, like the Muslims say, I had the innate knowing about God being there. So, or the innate belief. But the true knowing came from the experience after 20, 30 odd years of living life, of actually believing. It never came like boom. It's through the hard times, through the good times, back through the hard times, back through the good times, back through the hard times, and even worse at times, and then back up to the good times. All the way through that, yeah, I had to keep having faith. And then at that point, I ended up getting to the situation where I had the personal experience, where I was like, okay, I don't just believe in God, I know God is real. And then other stuff started unfolding for me. So yeah, if you've got someone in your corner, help them as they help you. Try and be there for them as much as you can. Sometimes helping them is pushing buttons. Sometimes helping them is giving them space. And sometimes helping them is shouting at them and telling them that you're never going to leave them. You know, just so that they get that through their head. Like, yo, this is it. This is the long run. We're not playing games here. We're in this together, and we'll figure this out together with God. And I think that's what Dee means when she says Jesus can fix all things. I think that's what she means. So that's why I don't really complain about that stuff. I think if you've got someone to guide you along the way, it's always good. Dee says, seek, you shall find, the door will open. You just need to open it, Jitten. Yeah, for sure. You need to take that first step. God is always ready to help, but you need to take that first step first towards him, so that he's able to then put his arm around you and go, yeah, I got you, bro. So sometimes you just need that first step God needs that first step from us. Just so that he's like, okay, this is the choice they've made. Shiva says, I am cool on that side, but at the end of the day, we are on paths in our present meat suits. Yes, we are. But appreciate the meat suit. Appreciate the meat suit as well. You know, like, as much as people say, oh, don't go for pleasures, you know, kind of like stay away from pleasures completely. No. You need to have pleasure in life. Life is a mixture of pleasure and pain. You need the balance. You need the balance between the pleasure and the pleasure and the pain. You need the balance, because through pain, you know that there's more growing to do, and through the pleasure, you get to enjoy life. And it's not just about the pain then, and it's not just about the pleasure, about just enjoying life. It's about the growth with the pleasure, about the growth with the appreciation, the balance. The balance. It's always about the balance, guys. It's always about the balance. Which is why I like to quote Thanos. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be, you know? We need things to be perfectly balanced in a way where the light and the dark can play together within you. And then they can play with the light and the dark in someone else. D says, yes, but just believe in the fullness of the Father, in the divine deity, that he loved us enough to bring us into loving grace with him forever. No greater love for us all. I don't normally say this, but amen. Amen to that. Yeah, God really is like doing his best. He really is doing his best. Sometimes we just got to take that first step forward towards him. D says, sometimes just give... Oh no, Jet says, D, my door is always open. Good man. So, Jet, if your door is always open, just a bit of advice from myself. Obviously, take it or leave it, up to you. Personal life, personal story, free will and everything. But change the way you speak, because where you said I am an atheist and a nihilistic at the moment and an absurdist, when you're doing that, you're actually giving yourself the labels. Best thing you could say is, I don't know, agnostic, because atheist is like, nope, I don't believe in God. That automatically becomes a belief. You believe there is no God. Nihilistic is, oh, I believe everything is just pain and horrible. Once again, you're kind of creating that into your reality. You'll be looking for all these things when you kind of give yourself these labels. And an absurdist, I kind of like absurdity, so that one I'll let slide. But you don't want to label yourself as it. You want to enjoy the absurdity of life. So yeah, if you feel it good enough for yourself that it will help you on your journey, try and call yourself a bit of an agnostic at the moment, just so that you're like, I don't know, I'm an idiot, I'm still figuring it out. And then that leaves the door open fully, not just slightly ajar, but fully open, that you are willing to learn and grow as much as needed in your life, rather than based on these labels you give yourself. Like I said, this is the issue with the Christians, the Muslims, and the other religious people, is when they give themselves labels and then they identify themselves with these labels, then they end up getting stuck in that place and they don't move forwards, they don't grow. But yeah, once again, free will, your choice how you want to take that, and whether it's good advice or bad advice, it's up to you whether it works for you or not. Oh, here we go. D says, sometimes just give a knuckle cheese sandwich with extra cheese. In this with you, DD, and Suvi with Jesus, we have our hope. Believe in the grace sent down, all of him in his glory and mercy. Only one way to find out. Only one way to find out, D. That's by moving forwards. That's by moving forwards and trying to grow as much as possible and trying to learn as much as possible and trying to find that freedom within yourself, you know? The light is always within. The light is inside everyone. That mustard seed of hope is inside everyone. Everyone's got that light within them. It's just about finding it within yourself and then letting it grow, letting it turn from an ember into a flame, you know. But once again, it's not just about the heart, it's about the mind as well. It's the balance of the two. Balance. It's always about the balance. D says, your heart door, Jitten? Yes, D, I need a sign. You need a sign. Okay, let's give you a sign. Let's give you a sign. Let's give you a sign. Let's say your sign is going to be... That's your sign. There you go. Peace. Oh, wait, I think I did it upside down. Peace. One of these is Mercedes, and one of these is peace. You could choose which sign suits you better. You could choose which sign suits you better. But find peace within yourself. Find peace within yourself, bro. No one could give you peace. No one could give you happiness. You find that within yourself, but you can share the happiness and you can share the peace, but you can't. I don't think you could give it to anyone. I hope. I've tried to in the past. We'll see what happens, but yeah, it's something that you got to find within yourself. D says your breath today is giving you time. Just look and see the love of the Father. He loves you. He cares. Yep. God constantly cares. Constantly. Probably a bit too much. Especially for this dumbass. Jitten says, I have always wondered how cool it would be if God contacted me and embraced me, but all the chaos and evil around me makes me pessimistic. Don't, because a lot of people go into religion or spiritual practices looking for that connection. The connection's already there. But it's about being receptive to the connection. You know what I mean? It's about finding that peace in yourself, stepping back from yourself and realizing, oh wait, that connection was there all along. I just couldn't see it. You know? Just because that's why I say you have to take that first step. God is constantly trying. He's knocking. But if you're not there at the door to open it and go, oh, there's someone here, you know, you're going to be stuck in that situation where you're like, oh, maybe this religion or that religion or this spiritual practice or this magical practice will work. None of that shit works. It's about finding that peace in yourself that you can then open the door and go, oh, you've been there all along. You've been there all along. It's one of these ironies of life, you know. Everyone's always out looking for it here, there, and there. And then when they open up their hearts and truly find God, that's when they realize, oh, he's been here all along, constantly, even if I couldn't see him. It kind of reminds me of that story, Footprints. I don't know if you guys, well, I'm sure Dee's heard of the story about footprints, but it's, I read it when I went to a friend's house, and it was in the bathroom, and I was reading it while taking a piss. I was a little bit drunk, but even then, I was like, wow. I ended up staying there for a few extra minutes, rereading it, and I ended up taking a picture of it as well, because the story was just so powerful. But it's basically that someone's walking along the sand, and God's next to them. Or, well, God's supposed to be next to them, and they're looking down at their footprints, and they're like, oh, look, there's two sets of footprints. And then, as they get through this really troubling part of life, they look down and they go, there's only one set of footprints. Why is there only one set of footprints? And then they keep moving, and then they get to the good part of life again, and then there's two footprints. And then that's when they connect with God. They go, hey, God, like, I thought you were going to be with me throughout this thing. And God's like, I was. And the person's like, no, but back there, when I was going through that shit, there was only one set of footprints. And God says, that's when I was carrying you. Sorry, emotional. I loved it that much. It's such an amazing story, honestly. God's always there. Sorry. I'm such a big baby. I am such a big baby. I just love stories like that. Where was I in the chat? Oh yeah, here we go. D says, God said, draw nigh to me and I will draw nigh to you. His loving promise. Yep. 100%. We move and have our being in him, DD, not by ourselves, in him. We are filled. Joy of the Lord balances you. Yes. You know, that's what I'm saying. The joy of the Lord gives you that inner peace. Gives you that inner peace. And when you got that inner peace, you're able to appreciate everything, the good and the bad. The balance in that as well. You know, Jitten says, why? D says, blood atonement, believe in the grace and mercy, you will have peace. Jitten says, peace has a line in the bottom third. Okay, so it's a Y shape. Cool. Oh, thank you. That's why you said Y. I thought you were asking a question. Why? Cool. Yes, the Y with the line at the bottom. Thanks, Jitten. Appreciate it. I get confused because I know Mercedes is the upside down Y. So that's probably why they've done that, because they're like the Antichrist. Mercedes, you know, material possessions, the whole you need some kind of external thing in order to give you happiness. You know, there's that old advert, oh Lord, and there used to be this song. It used to go, oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? So yeah, they're the opposite of the Lord. They're asking God for, instead of peace, they're asking for a Mercedes Benz. So that's why they're of the devil. That's why they're of the devil. Think about it. Think about it. They want you to go for material possessions instead of that peace. Because the thing is, with peace, it's not that you don't have material possessions. It's just that those possessions don't own you. Because anyone who buys a brand new Mercedes, I can guarantee you, if the car gets a little scratch, if something happens or whatever with the car, it ruins them. They get upset. They lose that peace within themselves. Whereas if you have peace within you and you buy a Mercedes Benz, then it's just a car. You know, if it does get a scratch, it's not the end of the world. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. That's why I love the phrase "it is what it is." I think the phrase "it is what it is" so damn powerful. Oh, here we go. D says, if God don't want you to have something, why would you want it? If He wants you to have it, you will. Exactly. You know, trust God's plan. If it's for you, it will be for you. If it's not for you, it won't be for you. You know, just trust. It's hard sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. It is hard sometimes to continue having that faith, but that's where, if you've had the faith long enough, that you'll have the experience, and then once you've had the experience, then even when it all seems like it's going to shit, you will still have that faith, and you'll still be like, it is what it is. If it's meant to be for me, it will be. If it's not meant for me, then it won't be. And you just got to give up that attachment, that holding on, and trust God and go with the flow. Just ask Him what He wants for you. God will answer and give goodness and mercy, grace, believe. At D from Jitten says, I will keep looking. I got too much into the theology of modern religions and it makes me cringe now. It has become a set of rules. Yes, this is why don't go towards religions. Don't go. Take what they've said and just put it on the back burner. Don't dive too deep into the theology. Just leave it on the back burner and then deal with the moment. Stay in the moment of life. So how are you feeling right now, Jitten? How are you feeling right now? Analyze how you're feeling. Ask yourself why you're feeling these things. Stay in the moment. You know, don't ignore your feelings and don't wallow in your feelings, but try and understand where those feelings come from. You know, just be in the moment, appreciate life. You know, start look around at things, like looking at this rock, and I'm like, oh, I appreciate this rock. You know, I like the fact that it's like kind of shiny sometimes in the right angle, but then it's really rough as well. It's not like one of these ones that's like proper smooth. It's like a proper like jaggedy rock, but it's still got some shiny bits to it, and then there's some yellowy bits to it, and then there's some white bits to it, and grey bits to it. Sometimes you just got to look at the simplest things and just appreciate them, because the more you do that, you start to appreciate things more and more in your life. It's going to be hard. But practice makes perfect. And that is part of the path to freedom, is that you have to kind of like appreciate things, appreciate life, appreciate the journey. the good and the bad. D says all about grace, all about what the loving Father did. Accept, believe, He will open your eyes to the truth. Jesus carries you, His footprints. Yes, yeah, I love that story. I honestly love that story. It always gets me in the feels, as you saw. Suvi's back with the peace and the love. Okay, welcome back, Suvi. D says Jesus is not religion. He fulfilled the laws that we could not keep. The love of the Father is covenant of grace we believe and receive. D dropping some love to Suvi. D says love the baby side of Dee. The baby side of me is it's always there. It's always there. Like I was watching a cartoon the other day. I told you I was watching Wall-E. Cried during Wall-E. I loved it. And the thing is, it's not like cries of sadness either. Sometimes it's just the happiness. You know, it's just like tears of joy. Like, oh, these two robots can find love, and yeah, it's tears of love and happiness and joy. You know, it doesn't have to be tears of sadness all the time. But yeah, I try to control that side of me because. Especially when I'm streaming, I'm trying not to let the baby side of me out too much because I feel like I have to try and be here for others rather than it all be about me. So that's just my problem. That's a me problem, you know. I like to be there for people. I like to help people, even if it fucks me up. D says Jitten, he's our savior, we believe, and all joy. Oh wait, sorry. Jitten says Jesus is cool, and then D says Jitten, he's our savior, we believe, and all joy comes, and our life is forever changed by the loving grace of the Father. He is so cool, but he is the way, the truth, and the life. He is our lifeline. D says grab hold of the truth, Jitten. Amazing grace. D says hard but trust, lean not to your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path, his grace, his mercy, and just believe. Yeah, the amount of times I've sat here, not here but in my room, and I've gone, oh God, I really don't want this in the future, please, like. And then as I'm saying that, I'm like, wait a second, actually, do you know what, if it's meant to happen, it's meant to happen, and it will be the best. So do you know what, just do what you gotta do. If it is this thing that I'm like apprehensive about, then it will happen because it's the best thing for me. If it's not the best thing for me, then you won't do it. You know, it's one of those things. You kind of got to let go of the reins a little bit. You know, let go of the reins a little bit. Or a better analogy is sometimes the bird stops flapping its wings and you just got to soar. You just got to soar for a few minutes. You know, just let the wind carry you. Sometimes you just gotta let the wind carry you. So yeah, it's not always about flapping your wings. Flapping your wings is important, but sometimes you got to allow it to soar. Yeah, that's the best way I could put that. D says we will not walk. Oh, sorry. We walk not in religion. We walk out of religion into grace, mercy, not of works, lest any man should boast. Just believe in the loving Father. He will save you, keep you. We do not walk alone. No, we do not walk alone. That's nicely related to yesterday's stream, where it was even when you're alone, you're not alone. You know, when you think you're alone, you're not alone. I should have mentioned that footprints on yesterday's stream as well. D says hard walk, but the peace and love of Jesus keeps us for all eternity. Jint says man, the man is a walking set of proverbs. I love it. I'm just a retard who likes to think. I'm a retard who likes to think. I'm an idiot who likes to think. That is all I am. Trust me, my life is just as chaotic as anyone else's. I make stupid decisions. I make good decisions. I make people happy. I make people sad. It's the balance of the two. It's the balance of the two. The light and the dark. And I accept it. It is what it is, you know. I'm not perfect. I know that I can't be perfect, and I don't expect anyone else to be perfect, but I try to aim as high as I can. I think constantly growing in life is important. I think constantly, because otherwise, like I said yesterday, You don't want to stay in the same place because you get stagnant and you get used to it. You get bored. Oh, my stream, has my stream messed up or my camera? Let me just check. Okay, yeah, I could hear my audio still working, but my videos failed for some reason on a funny picture of me. It is what it is. It is what it is. Where was I in the chat? Hey, D says, loving side that comes out of DD, real, raw, and so beautiful. Thank you, guys. It's just me. It's just me. I try to be myself as much as possible, but like I said, there's different aspects to me. There's the aspect of me that, because I've always wanted to be a teacher since I was a kid. I always wanted to be a teacher, but I've never really had anything to teach. And the only thing I can teach right now is what I've learned from my personal experiences. If anyone wants to learn, you know, camera's stopped completely now, so I think it was my phone that was being bugging out. Let me just see if I can fix that. Sorry, give me a sec. I'm going to put a quick song on for you guys while I try and sort out my camera. And hopefully we'll get that back on. And since we're talking about footprints, let's listen to this one.
The valley's a shadow, he's my guy. When the road gets rough, touching the rain, healing every heart. Come take my hand, we'll walk together to the promised land. No burden too heavy, no soul too low. When you walk with God, the blessings flow. He's the anchor in storms, the calm in strife, the beacon of hope, the giver of life. Let's spread this love, let's make it known. In God's embrace, we're never alone. Walk with God, let him lead the way. Feel his peace every single day. Join the stride, let love define. He's with you always, keep him on your mind. Stronger together, united in his name. Walking in love through joy and pain. Every step is a prayer, every path a song. With God in our hearts, we can't go wrong. Let the world see the light that we carry inside. A flame that won't falter with him as our guide. So lift your voice, let's call them home. No one should ever have to walk alone. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, to the weary and lost, come take my hand. We'll walk together to the promised land. No burden too heavy, no soul too low. When you walk with God, the blessings flow. He's the anchor in storms, the calm in strife, the beacon of hope, the giver of life. Let's spread this love, let's make it known. In God's embrace, we're never alone. To the weary and lost, come take my hand. We'll walk together to the promised land. No burden too heavy, no soul too low. When you walk with God, the blessings flow. He's the anchor in storms, the calm in strife, the beacon of hope, the giver of life. He's the anchor in storms, the calm in strife. For real, you always keep him on your mind. Are you ready to move, to walk in the truth, to trade in the lies for eternal proof? Open your heart, let his love ignite, and walk in his glory, bathed in his light. We're calling the nations, we're calling the lost, to walk in his footsteps, whatever the cost. With love in your heart and God in your mind, you'll see the peace that the world can't find. Walk with God, let him lead the way. Feel his peace every single day. Join the stride, let love define. He's with you always, keep him on your mind. So take that step, don't hesitate. With God by your side, your future's great. We're walking together, his love our song. Forever with God, where we all belong. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Where we all belong. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, where we all belong. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. We all belong. With God in our hearts, we can't go wrong. Look, God in our hearts, we can't go wrong.
Okay. Camera's back. Camera's back. Yeah, my computer was getting dodgy. I think you guys might have noticed as I started playing the song, it started cutting in and out because Computer said no. Computer says no. But it's all good now. It's all good now. For now, we'll see what happens in the future. But yes, gotta keep moving forwards. Gotta keep moving forwards. Where was I? Oh, D says never control that side. It is beautiful. Trust me, otherwise it would just be a stream of me sitting here crying my eyes out at the beauty of life and the irony of it as well. I'm gonna drop some bombs. I'm gonna drop some bombs. Okay, I'm gonna drop some bombs, and those who know will be able to take this and use it for what they want, and that's what I want. I want people to enjoy their life the way they want to. I don't want to control anyone. I don't want to tell people what to do, but it is what it is. I think there's an idea out there that we need third parties in order to fulfill our dreams. The only third party you need is God. He's the third party. I think this kind of goes back to what D said earlier in regards to he's already done the sacrifice. He's already bitten that bullet. He's already done what he needed to be done in order for everyone to have a good life. And yeah, that should be the third party in everyone's life. You know, if two people come together with a third party's God, then they're able to be happy together. But unfortunately, if they don't have God in their life, then they end up going different directions. Yeah, I think that's the best way I could explain it. But that's a bit of a bomb for you guys. That's a bit of a bomb for you guys. Don't be looking for third parties or anyone else to find that fulfillment. God picks up for our lack. He picks up for our lack. He's that amazing. Jitten says Shiv dropped his template greetings and bounced. Maybe he does that sometimes. Or he might be coming in and out. He might be at work. He might be on the way home from work. You know, don't know everyone's situation. Maybe he's got another stream that he really likes watching. It is what it is. He talks about stuff that I'm like, whoa. So he might be at a place where he doesn't need this kind of conversation, you know. Everyone's on different parts of the journey. I'm just a little bit slow. I'm the turtle chasing after the rabbit. That's all I am. I'm still catching up. Slowly but surely. Hopefully one day. We'll see what happens. D says the loving Father holds you and your future. Yes, he does. He keeps you from something. Thank him. He gives you something. Praise him. He has what is best for you. Hold no good thing from you. Yes, trust in God, 100%. He will make everyone happy if they allow him to. D says yes, not alone. Like yesterday's stream, and love the footprints in the sand. So beautiful. How we are carried by the loving Father. Yes. Audio is working. Thank you. We are all far from perfect, but know His amazing grace. We accept and believe in Him, all He did, and He is our comforter and our guide. He says I'm frozen. Okay, this was earlier because I'm looking at myself at the moment. It's all good now. So thanks for letting me know, guys. Audio was good, but frozen on the screen. He says, love seeing your soul, Didi. Always share a softened heart. I'll try my best. Sometimes it comes out a bit more when I'm telling stories rather than in teacher mode. When I'm in, I don't want to say teacher mode. It sounds so big-headed. And I'm not in preach mode either. When I'm in guidance mode. When I'm in guidance mode, it's kind of like I'll try my best to steer the conversation in a way that allows you guys to hopefully take something away from it. Something that can help you in your own lives. Because like I said, this streaming thing, this whole thing, this YouTube thing wasn't about me. It was about you guys. It was purely about you guys. It was purely about trying to give people hope. Trying to get them to understand that, hey, there's always hope. There's always hope. We just got to find it. Jitten says, these songs are awesome. You should teach us how you make it. AI. It's just song lyrics I kind of make myself. I get a little bit of assistance from ChatGPT in regards to some of the lyrics, just to make sure that they rhyme or whatever, or just kind of flow a little bit better. And then I asked ChatGPT, I'm like, excuse me, I said to ChatGPT, rewrite these lyrics staying true to the original lyrics. And then it kind of does it in a way, and then I kind of like pick and choose what parts I want in the song and what I want to keep as the original lyrics that I wrote. And yeah, I tweak it like that a little bit, and then I use an AI program. There's loads of AI programs on there. I can tell you the one I use. It's called Suno, Suno. It's really good. And once again, it does... it produces... You have to kind of give it a kind of genre or something like that, and a style and whatnot, and then it kind of makes the song for you. But then you have to find the right one that, you know, resonates within you. But obviously, if you could play an instrument, even better. I can't play an instrument. I'm so not talented at anything. I like to joke to myself that God didn't give me any talents except thinking, and unfortunately thinking isn't a great talent sometimes. It's nice to be able to play music or play an instrument or do something. But yeah. I guess my thinking allows me to be creative in different ways, you know? My thinking allows me to be creative in different ways of expressing myself. Which I like. I like that, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't have any actual talents myself. I'm quite talentless. D says, no burden too heavy for our loving Father. He comes that none should perish and come to him. Just believe in his fullness, his grace, his mercy, for all to come to the truth of who he is and what he gives. D says, I love you all, Didi and Suvi and Stream, and Jesus loves you so much. Thank you, appreciate it. Jit says, you should stop smoking though. God can only help you so much. Like I say, it's all things in balance. I do smoke a little bit, but I do it in a way that... I know this is going to go against a lot of what people think. I do it in a way that kind of like I appreciate God for. So for me, it kind of gets me closer to him. Not because of the smoking. Everything I do, I try and do it. Like even this channel, like everything I try and do it with God in my mind first. All my relationships, I will try and put God first and make sure that I'm doing things with truth, love, compassion, contentment, humility, and hope. And make sure that we're on the same page, you know, where we are moving forward together with the guidance of God. So God will come first in the guidance, and then hopefully that will translate through everything else in the relationships of people, of things like smoking, all sorts. It's not easy. I don't recommend it for everyone straight off the bat. It's something I had to learn over time, the hard way. I didn't have anyone in particular to kind of guide me on this in life. I didn't have a brotherhood or anything like that. I was just trying to figure this out on my own, and this is what I've learned. This is why, to some people, I am the son of perdition, because most religions are like, oh, no, you need to be one way and not the other way. I'm like, no. You need to find the balance between the two. Eva. But I appreciate your concern, bro. I appreciate the concern. And we all got to go at some point. Some sooner than others, but that's part of God's plan. So whatever God's got planned for me, it's his plan. D says, God is all free. He did it all for us. Just believe, accept his grace and his atonement for all. The Father's love, his gift. D says, come to the Father as you are. We can't quit things on our own, and through him, he leads us into what we should lay down. We just believe in Jesus. Through him, we know the fullness of the Godhead. We don't clean up ourselves. We let the Spirit of truth, the Godhead, come in. He is our guide, directs us, keeps us, never leaves us or forsakes us. D says yes, he gave us hope. Yes, he does. Freezing a little bit again. It looks good at the moment, but yeah, I did see it doing a little stuttering thing earlier, so hopefully it stays strong and keeps the connection going. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, you know. If it ends, it ends. You know, if God decides to crash my computer, he's like, "Oh, you're talking too much crap, D," then he'll end my stream. He'll end my stream. But if it's okay, it'll keep going. We'll see what happens. D says, "Love song, Amazing Grace, that saved a wretch like me. I was once lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. Yes, amazing grace. How sweet the sound." I think that's how it goes. D says, "We try everything, but God gives us what we need and keeps us from what we don't need. Now we can go against him and know it is our choosing. And we'll find out that it was not what God purpose or plan." Jen says, "Tell us about your childhood and schooling. How was your experience as a son of immigrants?" Good question. Good question. Childhood and schooling. I was a boisterous kid, and then I kind of got reeled in by my parents. Like, I love playing, I love doing lots of things, but I got a lot of beats for it. I would typically love stories. I love watching TV for the stories and watching different shows and trying to learn as much as I could, especially in the household, because in the household, I like to talk. I'd be sitting there with the adults, listening to their conversations, because the kids didn't talk much. They played, which was fun. I played with them as well. But sometimes I wanted that conversation as well. I like to play and I like to think, you know. I like to do both. So there'll be times where I'm running around pretending I'm Superman or Zorro with a mask on and going shh, 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 pretending to the Z everywhere. I'll be jumping off the sofa, pretending I could fly with like a blanket in my thing as a little cape. So I love doing that. But then sometimes, like, you know, when you get told off and you're like, "All right, you need to calm down." I'm like, "Fine, all right, I'll calm down." So I come and I sit next to the adults and they start talking. And then I try and talk to them and they're like, no. Adult conversation. You need to just sit there and be quiet and don't listen to what we say. So over the years of constantly being put down for being me, I kind of closed off a little bit. Because I thought it was a me problem. I thought I was a problem. So I kind of closed off a little bit and I was like a bit more reflective in everything, trying to look at the situations from different angles, trying to understand, okay, the parents probably don't want me to know about these certain conversations or whatever. Yeah, then going to school, I had loads of different friend groups. I'd make jokes. I'd get looked at weird. Because to me, I can make a joke about anything. I find everything funny. You know, I could find everything funny. Especially about laughing at myself and all that stuff. So when I was with friends and something bad would happen, I'd make a joke about it and they'd get upset at me. Like, I'm just lightening the mood, you know, just having fun. Like, don't take life so seriously. But yeah, they didn't like that. And because they didn't like that, I was like, oh shit, have I said something wrong? Am I the problem? Do I not know how to communicate? Is that what the issue is? Maybe if I say it differently, and I tried saying things differently and I'd still get the same response. So I was like, okay, most of the time it's better if I just stay quiet. People like my company. They like my company. Like, my friends would knock on my door. Hey, you want to come out and play football? Hey, you want to go bike riding? They like my company. But when I started talking, they were like, shut up. So I had that experience through primary school. Then in high school was interesting. So I stayed more to myself as much as I could. On my break times, lunch times, I'd go to the library, I'd read books, I'll go on the internet reading stuff, I'd try and learn as much as I can. sometimes it would just be me sitting there just looking at pictures of Dragon Ball Z or something, you know, just something that I liked. So I was just like printing out pictures of Dragon Ball Z. I remember going to the librarian. The librarian knew me, like I was there all the time, and I'd be like, hey, here's 25p or it was 5p for black and white prints and 25p for color prints. So instead of buying sweets and stuff, I'd be paying money for like color prints of these cartoon characters, and then I'd cut them out, and then I'd take them home, and then I'd stick them on the wardrobe and stuff. Also, like where high school was interesting was, even though I was keeping to myself and just trying to do my own thing, everyone wanted to fight me. Everybody wanted to fight me. I don't know why. There was situations where random people who I thought were my friends wanted to fight me. There were situations where people I didn't really know that well decided they wanted to fight me. There were situations where a friend would start a fight or start an argument with someone, and then because I defended them, someone wanted to fight me. I think I tried to count it the other day. I think it was 9 fights I went through in high school, and high school's only like a 5-year period, 4 or 5 year period. So I had 9 fights in a 4 or 5 year period, and I didn't start any of them. It wasn't me looking for a fight in any of these situations. It was always other people. Like, I'll give you the last fight I had in high school was funny. It was I say it's funny, but you guys will probably be like, oh, that's so serious. But it was funny because, you know, it was so retarded. It was the irony of it. It was the irony of it. It was just so hilarious. It was stupid to me. But essentially, I was in year 10, and there was a kid in year 11. Year 11 is the highest. He comes up to me one day, and he's like, I don't like you. And I was like, okay, no worries. See you later. I don't know you. You don't know me, but you don't like me. That's fine. But we don't need to talk. You know, we don't need to hang out. We don't need to do anything. Like, if you don't like me, you don't like me. That's your choice. That's your life. You know, go live your life. Do your thing. And he's like, no, I don't like you. And I was like, all right, cool. See you later then. He's like, no. We're going to fight. I was like, why do you want to fight me? Like, I don't know you. You don't like me, but cool. But I don't know you. And he's like, no. I know your brother. I had a fight with your brother and I smacked him in the head. And I was like, okay, that sounds like you've got a problem with my brother, not me. You know, go talk to him if you've got a problem with him. I don't know you. I don't know what the situation is. I don't want to fight for the sake of fighting. I'd fight to defend someone or defend myself, but I'm not going to fight for the sake of fighting. And as I'm saying this, he takes 3 swings at me, and Neo from the Matrix, and I'm a fat kid, by the way. I'm a fat kid in high school, really fat kid. So he takes 3 swings at me, and like Neo from the Matrix, I'm like, oh no, not even Neo from the Matrix. I know the perfect reference for this. Let me just load it up. Sorry. Gonna take a few more seconds. Okay, so obviously this movie came out after this particular fight, so it's only after I saw the movie I was like, oh, that kind of reminds me of that time. So it's the Spider-Man. I love the Spider-Man movies, especially with the Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire was such an awesome Spider-Man. But this is the fight scene. Obviously, time didn't stand still for me. It's just this particular bit. I'll show you. I'll tell you when we get to the bit.
Think you're pretty funny, don't you, freak?
Flash, it was just an accident.
My fist breaking your teeth, that's the accident.
Come on, Flash.
I don't want to fight you, Flash.
I wouldn't want to fight me neither. Kick his ass, man.
Okay, it's this bit now. So when he goes to punch him, he just dodges, but he's just looking at the punch. And he did that 3 times. He swung at me 3 times, and I just dodged, and then... I didn't do that. I didn't do the backwards thing, but so that's what happened. So that's the reference I've got in regards to that story. He swung at me 3 times. I dodged all of them, and then I was gonna go punch him. And as I was about to punch him, the teacher turned up and he pulled us apart. And I was like, "Oh, cool, no worries. It is what it is. It is what it is." Probably good that I didn't punch him. Otherwise, it'll probably lead into another thing. He'll probably then come back at me later on in the day, and he'll say something like, "Oh, you hit me, you know, you made me look stupid in front of my friends," or whatever, and he would want to start another fight. So I was like, okay, do you know what? Maybe it's a blessing in disguise I didn't get a chance to hit him back. So teacher separated us. He went off wherever. I went off back to my lessons or something. And then I went through the day as normal, you know? I didn't let it affect my day. I always try to do these things. So I'd hope that the day was still going to be a good day. I didn't let it dwell on me or anything like that. And as I was going through the day, it was literally the end of the day. And I did what I always do. At the end of the day, either I would, if it was a Friday or something, I'd go with my friends and we'd go play football. But if it was in the middle of a weekday where we're not going to play football, I'd typically go to the library. I'd go to the library for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and do random shit. Either read a book. There was these books I used to love reading. They were called Zone 13. Zone 13. They were really good sci-fi books. They did Zone 13 was like this kind of like brand, you know, like Goosebumps. It was like that kind of thing, but for sci-fi. So I'd read the books, or I'd go on the computers, hang out. And while I'm doing this, I'm just chilling. Like I said, I'm in my own little world. And then I'm like, all right, cool. It's time to go home. I want to go watch my cartoons. We've got Simpsons. We've got Farscape, more sci-fi stuff. Blake 7, which was an adult 80s sci-fi show. Like I like watching everything. I like to learn as much as I can and have a laugh with the Simpsons, Futurama, and all that stuff. So as I'm about to leave, I'm just walking through the school, and one of my friends comes up to me and he's like, "Where have you been? Where have you been?" I'm like, "I was in the library. Why? What's up? What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, that guy's waiting outside school for you." I was like, "What guy?" He's like, "You know that guy that wanted to fight you in the morning?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "He's outside. Everyone's waiting." I was like, "Who's everyone?" I was like, "All right, let's just go have a look. Let's see what's going on. Let's see if we could talk this through." So I head outside the school. As I head outside the school, I'm not even lying. It's like, I'm a nobody. I'm a fat kid, okay? I'm a fat kid who likes to spend his time either in the library or in the playground playing football. I don't try to make any issues with anyone. I'm not trying to act cool. I'm not trying to be the gangster of the, you know, like there's always the gangster people who are always like, "Oh yeah, don't look at me," kind of vibes. I'm just like chilling. I'm doing my thing. So as I'm walking out, I just see literally half the school, at least 300 people, just standing there in a massive crowd, and him standing there with his mates. And I'm like, oh shit. Is that all for me? Is that all for me? That is serious. That is insane. So I was like, it is what it is. Let's go see if we could try and diffuse the situation. If not, I'll have to fight to defend myself. Not because I want to fight, but just because it is what it is. It is what it is. So I head outside. Oh, sorry. No, I skipped a part of the story. So when my friend told me, "Where have you been? Everyone's outside waiting for you." At that point, I was like, I really don't know who this guy is. I don't know why he wants to fight me. So what I did was I quickly got my phone and I called my brother, because he said that he had a fight with my brother. So I was like, oh, he must know who he is. So I called my brother. I was like, "Yo, this guy says he knows you. He tried to start a fight with me this morning. Oh, what the hell's his problem?" And he's like, "Oh, that guy. Okay, just tell him if he wants to fight, come down to our road. Don't do it in front of the school. Otherwise, you know, people might get in trouble and stuff, or you might get in trouble with the school. Just bring him down to our road if he wants to fight. And I go, cool. I'll suggest it to the guy. I'll suggest it to him. I don't know if he's going to be in much of a talking mood. I'll try and diffuse it if I can. If I can't diffuse it, I'll ask him if he wants to take it somewhere else. And that's when I walked outside. That's when I saw literally half the school, 300 people just standing there with this guy. And when I went outside, I tried to talk to him. I was like, yo, like, why do you want to fight me still? Like, what's going on? And I can't remember what he said, but it wasn't anything productive. It wasn't anything rational. It wasn't anything rational. It was just pure ego and anger. I don't know about what still, but it is what it is. And he was like, no, we're going to fight. We're going to fight. And I said, all right, cool. How about we go over there and we fight over here rather than here in front of the school? And he's like, okay, cool. So now, at this point, I'm walking off in the direction that I need to go. I felt like such a celebrity. I'm not going to lie. I felt like such a celebrity. I had 300 people walking around me, following me towards my house. And I probably got about 500 yards away from the school. And then we were outside these particular shops. And at that point, he ran across the crowd, and then he came to the front of me, and he was like, we're going to do it now, at this place. And then again, he did the same thing. He took 3 swings at me, and the same thing happened. I dodged, and then when I was about to punch him back, his friends grabbed me from behind and pulled me against the shop window. And as they pulled me against the shop window, his mates started hitting me. And he started hitting me as well, I think. I was just trying to protect my face because I was like, okay, I can't see exactly where they are because they were behind me and in front of me. They were kind of all over me. So I was like, protect the face first. Make sure that I don't get knocked out. And then if I can find an opportunity to fight back, I will. And as I was trying to protect the face as they were hitting me, I didn't go down. I was just pushed up against the window. And honestly, the punches weren't hurting either. They were like, I don't know, I think it was just all that fat on me, you know, like, like I said, this is why I love, what's his face, Poe from, hey, I'm gonna have to show this little reference as well. One second. I'm just looking for the right scene. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna be able to find the right scene very quickly. But there's a scene from Kung Fu Panda where someone's trying to punch him, and he's just laughing. He's just like, "Oh, that tickles! Ooh, ooh, stop it, stop it, stop it!" It's not like because he's got so much fat on him. They're just punching him, and he's just like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh," instead of being like, "Ow, ow, ow." So I was kind of like that in that situation. I wasn't getting hurt, but it was more of a bombardment of punches from different directions. None of my friends were there. I don't know where my friends went off to, but it is what it is. It was just me on my own. And as they're hitting me, luckily, two of my brother's friends who lived on my road were walking past. And they saw what was happening, and they kind of recognized me, and they went, "Oh shit, he's in trouble." So they came in, they pulled me out of it, and they pushed them off. And as they pushed them off and pulled me out of it, they said, "Go home, go home." I was like, "But what about the fight?" And then, "Don't worry about it, just go home." So I was like, "All right, fine, whatever, I'll go home." And I went home. The story does continue. This story does continue, okay? And like that, the rest of the evening was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Which I will get to in a second. I just want to read some of the chat because I can see there's a lot of chat coming through, and I just want to keep up with the chat as well. But the story is to be continued. The story does not end there. Honestly, if you thought that was bad, if you thought that was wild, you have no fucking idea. You have no idea. And this, once again, like I said from the beginning, this was literally Me, a fat kid who doesn't want to bother anyone, just wants to live my life, everyone else to have their life, ended up in this weird ass situation, which at the time, kind of thinking about it and looking back on it, it was just about, I think, God preparing me for life. You know, sometimes in life you'll have all these random things that don't make any sense, and it feel like you're fighting everyone, but sticking with truth, love, compassion, contentment, humility, and hope. All right, so let me just catch up with the chat first, and then I'll carry on with the story. This all started from Jitten. Jitten, this was your fault, by the way. You're the one who asked me about school and stuff. My childhood and schooling. In regards to schooling, I was kicked out of my history class because I asked too many questions. I wouldn't just accept the programming where the teacher said, oh, capitalism good, communism bad. I was like, but miss, I don't understand why. Communism means that we're all equal and we're working towards a shared goal, where capitalism means that we're better than each other and we've got a hierarchy and we're all just looking out for ourselves. I was like, doesn't communism sound better? And instead of explaining that, hey, it wasn't communism, the idea that was bad, is the way that it was implemented, she ended up reiterating the whole World War One or World War Two scenario again to me, and then going, okay, do you get it now? This is why they're the bad guys. And I was like, I don't get it, miss. I still don't get it. I understand the story you told me, but I don't understand why communism is bad. I understand why they were the bad guys, but I don't understand why communism in itself was bad. So I got kicked out of my history class and I wasn't allowed back in. Sexy. All right. Give me a sec. But that was a good question, Jitten. Honestly, you got me to open up a little bit, I guess, about life. And I still need to talk about Son of an Immigrant. Son of an Immigrant, not so bad. I was raised in predominantly a brown area, mixture of people. There was white people, there was brown people, black people. So I didn't feel like an odd one out in that regard. More just odd one out in the way I thought and the way I acted and the way I was, rather than being an immigrant. D says, yes, never crap from God, Didi. You sing beautiful. Yes, that's how it goes. Thank you. D says, you were suppressed, Didi, and closed off a little, heart hardened to life a little, but looks like your heart is softening and seeing the loving soul that the Father has given you. No, I've always seen it. It's just people sometimes take kindness as weakness and then they try to abuse that. So that's why sometimes you got to have the walls up a little bit in certain situations, you know, using discernment. I obviously maybe took it to an extreme where I was constantly having the walls up for every situation, and then only bring them down when it was good. But then obviously people never really saw this side of me because they were too busy looking at the wall. So I don't know. It is good and it is bad, I guess. But yeah, it is what it is. The heart's always been soft. It's just the walls around it. And to be honest, I was always waiting for the right time. I knew that one day I'd be able to be me. But I wasn't sure when. D says, they seen the goodness in you, Didi. I'm evil. And they became jealous. Goodness shows. Jitten says, so basically the same as you in the speaker's corner, but you don't mind speaking out now. Yeah, so a couple of years back, about 15 years ago, when I was around 20, I had a dream where I found a book in my dream. Well, basically the dream, I'm going to go through the dream very quickly. So the dream was that I found a warehouse, and I just instinctively knew that this warehouse was a warehouse of my memories. And I went in and I was looking for a motorbike. I wanted to build my own motorbike, and I was thinking, oh, if I find all the best bits that I can remember from my history, from my past of a motorbike, I could kind of piece together the best motorbike. And as I'm looking around this pile of junk looking for motorbike pieces and trying to look for what I can to make this motorbike, I find a book. And as I'm reading this book, like I open it, it's in some random language, and as I'm reading it, which I don't know how I read or what the language was, it was just undecipherable at first, but somehow I started reading it, and as I'd read it, this zombie version of me grabbed my leg and said, "You're not ready yet, you're not ready." So I was like, okay, close the book, and I put it back down. I was like, I'm obviously not ready for it. Maybe in the future, we'll see what happens. And then I turn around and I carry on looking for motorbike pieces, and as I'm looking for motorbike pieces again, I find this big giant ass sword, like a great sword. And as I pick it up, I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, this is such a cool sword. As I'm thinking that and looking at the sword, this giant man appears in front of me with a lion face, and he says, "You're not ready yet. You're not ready." So I was like, okay, putting it back down. Not yet. And that kind of taught me that I needed to have more patience. As much as I wanted to be me, I had to have the patience. And I just trusted that there was there's a plan by God, essentially, for my life. So this is why I always say, like, I just trust God. I trust God. And only a couple of years ago, I was always on the spiritual journey, but only a couple of years ago, I started pushing this spiritual journey even more. That's when I went and dipped in the water. That's when I went on my 2 long walks. That's when I started, and the 2 walks were amazing, honestly, amazing 2 walks. I just did spiritual things that were just about me and getting closer to God. Literally, I met people along the way, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm just going for a walk." And they're like, "Why?" And I'd be like, "Oh, get closer with God." That was it. It was literally that. It was just appreciating nature, appreciating the toughness of walking on my own, of blisters on my feet, walking through the night. Because I was walking through the night, and I try and sleep during the day. So I was walking through the night. It was such a hard journey, but it was also nice as well, because I was meeting so many different people. They were so amazing people I met on that journey, both of them. And yeah, it's only a couple of years ago when I was like, okay, I think this is God telling me that I'm almost ready to kind of be me. But that's when I went to Speaker's Corner. After all that, I went to Speaker's Corner, and that's when I was like finally able to actually have conversations where I was like, okay, I could be me a little bit, but not too much, because I think I'm better handled in small doses. Especially because, like I said, when I first went to Speaker's Corner, they weren't there for conversations, they were there for arguments, and I wanted them to be more about conversations. If you're here to big up God, and talk about how amazing God is, then talk about how amazing God is. Don't shit on other people, don't shit on other religions, talk about God, lead by example. So that was the kind of message I was trying to pass across to these guys before last year, where I went on to a separate journey, which was just as valuable. So yeah, and I don't mind speaking out. I never minded speaking out. It's just, I don't think the world, sounds so big-headed, sorry, but I just don't think the world was ready for my BS at the time. Shiva says, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. D says, thanks for sharing, Didi. Yeah, good you didn't give him a knuckle cheese sandwich with extra cheese. To be honest, that's always been my fear. My fear has always been that I'm going to punch someone so hard that I'll probably cause either permanent brain damage, or they'll trip over, smack their head, and then they'll bleed out. Or so. Like, I don't want to hurt anyone. I want to protect myself and protect others, but I don't want to go out of my way to hurt people. So for me, that's why I always try to stay out of fights. As much as I was a fat kid, I was a strong kid. And I'm still quite strong. I was always like, if I was getting into fights with my brothers, it would be me versus them two. It would be that kind of situation. I was always on my own kind of thing, and I've always been able to take care of myself in most of these situations. Suvi says, you're good at footy, really good with wildling. Thank you. I had fun with the little wildling. Shivite says, who's your favourite football team or teams? Honestly, I used to like Manchester United when I was a kid, but that was only because my cousins like Manchester United. As I kind of grew up and I started watching football, I didn't watch it religiously. I only watched it every once in a while. But when I was watching football, I really liked the way Chelsea played. I really liked the way they played. They were very defensive. Like the defense line was solid, and because the defense line was always solid, it kind of helped the attackers as well, the attacking part of the team, because the defense was solid, that they could always create new opportunities and stuff like that. So I really, really liked the way Chelsea played. So I kind of became a Chelsea supporter, but not really a Chelsea supporter. Just the style of play I thought was really good. Suvi says, evening all. Sorry, slow response was bathing, wildling. Now they're partying in room before bed. Awesome. Glad they're still having fun. D says, how old are they, the wildlings? Uh-oh. I just ended up skipping a bunch. Here we go. Suvi says, oh, that sucks. His friend's involved. Yeah, but it's life, you know? It's life. That's what I mean. It's unpredictability. You don't know what happens in life. I like a fair fight. I like it 1 versus 1 and no weapons, you know? Like, we'll punch it out. If I lose, I'll lose gracefully. If you lose, I hope you lose gracefully, and we just walk away. We could shake hands at the end of it. Like, there's no anger from me. There's no hate from me. It's just, it is what it is. But yeah, other people, yeah, I always say that it's cowards who fight in groups. Cowards fight in groups because they're afraid to stand alone and afraid to lose alone. You know, their ego can't handle that, so they'd rather have all their friends there. Shivat says, secondary school days was a mad time for me. Oh, did you get into a lot of fights as well, or was it more just arguments, or what was it? Suvi says, yeah, high school's crazy. Kids trying to prove shit. Yes. And I don't know why they were trying to prove it against me. It's not like I was a popular kid. It's not as if I was the most good looking. It wasn't, you know what I mean? I was a fat kid. I had no... Actually, tell a lie, I was smart. Not intelligent smart, but just like, I understood things quickly. I understood things quite quickly. So when the teacher would explain something about science or whatever, sometimes I'd explain to the people sitting next to me and help them out as much as I could from what I understood. And I'd ask questions a lot. I don't mind looking stupid. If it's something that I don't understand, I put my hand up and go, sorry, can you explain that again? Hence why me getting kicked out of the history class. I don't mind looking stupid and saying, I don't get it. Could you explain it again, please? Because I want to understand it. For me, it's always about trying to understand it for myself. Like, especially if someone's trying to teach you, it's like, okay, yeah, I don't want to just remember the things you've said. I don't want to just remember the facts and then tick it off in the exam. If we're here to learn. Let me understand. So it's just my gift and my curse. DC's story continues. Yeah, it really does. That story, that fight story really does continue, and it gets absolutely nuts. Suvi says hormones and all. Yes, there's a lot of hormones in high school. D says, Didi continue. I will do. I'm almost near the bottom of the chat, I believe. D says God prepares us through life. Yes, every time in life is a opportunity to learn. It's always an opportunity to learn. Even if it doesn't feel like it at the time, there's always an opportunity to learn and grow. Siri I was like, what? Very what? And then the emojis, I get it. Very sexy with the nose blowing. Thank you. Shiva says communism is Zionism they created. Yeah. Suvi says softening. He's a tough cookie. Yes. But cookies, the best cookies, are tough on the outside and soft on the inside. You know, like soft and gooey in the middle. Oh, love those cookies. But yeah, softening. He's a tough cookie. I try to be. You know, it's the balance. It's the balance of the two. You got to have the hardness and the softness when it applies. Like I said on previous streams in regards to when I've told people the truth about certain things that hurt their feelings. It's not that I'm trying to hurt your feelings. It's that sometimes if you don't appreciate the softness, I'll give you the hardness. That sounded dodgy, but you know what I mean. It's all things in balance. D says kindness is not weakness, it is strength. Yes, I agree. I agree. It takes a lot more strength to be kind to someone or open up with someone when you know people take the piss with it. You know, it takes a lot of strength to do that. That's my way of thinking anyway. That's why I've always tried to stay the way I am. As much as I had that exterior wall, I was still soft inside. I wasn't trying to harden myself completely. It was just the walls outside the heart, just to make sure that the heart was protected. Because that's what discernment is. Discernment is essentially putting up those walls. It's the mind protecting the heart. So that's what that was in that regard. So the mind tries itself best to protect the heart, but it has to do it in a healthy, balanced way where it doesn't just solidify the heart and make it completely hard. That's what I like to be. That's why I like to stay as a kid. That's why I think everyone should be kid-like, because kids have soft hearts. You know, adults have hard hearts. I want to be as young as possible forever. Not because I want to live forever, but just young at heart. You know, young at heart. Got to try a little kindness, and you overlook the blindness of a narrow-minded people on a narrow-minded street. You got to. Obviously, back then I didn't overlook it. I thought it was a me problem. I thought I need to work on myself a little bit better in regards to communication, in regards to trying to get people to understand my perspective. But at the same time, it was kind of me thinking that if I can't figure it out, it could just be a them problem. It could just be that they've had a bad day. It could just be that they've bad experiences, or they're being egged on by their mates, you know, like, oh yeah, you should fight him. And they're going, oh, ego. I understood all these aspects, but at the same time, my first reflection was always to myself, because as much as it's so easy to just blame the other person and just go, okay, it's your fault. It's so easy to do that, but you have to kind of look back on yourself and reflect first and go, okay, wait, what part did I have to play in this? What part did I play in this? Shiva says, the Bolshevik Revolution was the Zionist takeover of Russian, the China, and North Korea. D says, tough toast, outer layer tough, inner layer soft. Yes. Or I like to say cheese on toast. Cheese on toast. The cheese is soft and gooey. The toast is rough but sweet. D says, yes, Jesus said they lay down your sword. Didi, pick up the two-edged sword, sharp and cuts into thunder, the living word, the sword of truth. Yes, so if we're going to reference that thingy, if I was wielding the sword of truth when I wasn't ready, then that could have been dangerous for everyone. So I guess it was important that I learned discernment, learn how to use the sword without picking up the sword first. Sometimes you need a wooden sword to practice with. Suvi says, exactly, patience. Kiss my teeth at the slam of the car door. Suvi, kiss my teeth at the attitude. You know? Kiss my teeth at the attitude. If I slammed the door, I slammed the door. But the attitude wasn't good either. You know? Everything in balance. Everything in balance. I hope the kids weren't scared by that, though. It wasn't meant to scare the kid. It was just meant to be... Honestly, I didn't even mean to slam the door. It was just frustration at the time, and I was just like, fine. And I shut the door really quickly so I could walk off. And sometimes I don't know my own strength. Okay, so apologies if it scared anyone. But yeah, and also the attitude didn't help either. The attitude did not help. D says, God's DNA, everyone is different, created in his uniqueness. You can be all the Father has made you to be, DD. For sure. But that's for everyone. Everyone could be all that they were supposed to be. And that's why I say be you. Be you. Don't try and copy someone else. Don't try and be like someone else. Be you. Your uniqueness is beautiful in its own way. D says, to be hurt so much, DD. You still have the love of the Father. Yes. No. God never stops loving. God never stops loving. And that's why I say you still, even though all these things are happening, you still got to have faith that it's happening for your betterment. You may not understand it at the time, but you will understand it hopefully in the future. If not, don't worry. There'll be some kind of lesson or something you learn from it that you may not ever understand, but you've learned from it. It may be protecting you from something else in the future that you don't go down towards. So you never realize, oh, this is why I was taught this, because you never walked down that particular way, if that makes sense. D says, God says, no weapon formed against you will prosper. Yes. Yeah. Shivite says, it was the usual crap at school. Okay. Was that just the clicky stuff? The clicky stuff and the bullying and the name calling. D says, Didi, you say you were a fat kid. You had ice cream money. No, I didn't have ice cream money. Luckily, this is what my dad loves reminding me about. He loves reminding me that, hey, look, I fed you so much. So I had lots of pizzas at home, lots of ice cream at home, lots of good treats at home. Every once in a while, when I do go to the shops, I would buy the penny sweets. Oh, I tried getting them the other day. I tried in my local shop. They've got these. Back when I was a kid, there were these little tube things that look like straws, and it was just sherbet inside them. Sherbet. You just crack open it, and then you just kind of like put it on your tongue, and it's just really good flavors. Yellows, pinks, blues. Great sweets. And that was it. That was me. You know, the penny sweets. I was happy with that. I liked a little Bueno or some other kind of chocolate every once in a while. Lion Bar, I like Lion Bar. But I don't know if you'll get these references, D. These are kind of British chocolates. But yeah, I went to the shop the other day. They don't have any sherbets. I was absolutely devastated. I was like, damn. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I'll find a shop one day. But yeah, no ice cream money, no lunch money either. I used to go to school with packed lunches. So once again, I wasn't sitting with the cool kids at the lunch table. I would be sitting outside in the playground eating my sandwiches by myself. Or if my mates had finished their lunch and they came out, then I'd be sitting there eating with them, or while they hang out. Or if we play football, if I go to the library, I'd eat in there. Even though I got told off for eating in the library, sometimes I sneak it. You know, gotta be a little bit naughty. But yeah, I wasn't really that spoiled. D says, yes, a lot more to walk away. Know when to hold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. Yes. D says, count your blessings while you are sitting at the table. There will be time enough for counting when God's dealings are done. D says, cheese on toast, Didi. Yep, cheese on toast. Didi says, yes, discernment, maybe plastic sword that draws in. yeah. D says, be attitudes. The Bible gives the be attitudes. Bring them up. The be attitudes? Is that bitchy attitudes? Is that what you're trying to say? But maybe YouTube's being a bit funny with the word bitchy. Jitten's laughing at something I must have said. Suvi says, there wasn't no attitude. I just lacked the communication and you was pushing for a different response. It got tiring, sorry. Anyways, hope you had a good meal when you got home. It's all good. I get it sometimes. But obviously, like I said to you before, Suvi, I enjoy your company. And for me, I like to enjoy the moment. So for me, as I want to communicate so that we can get over whatever the issue, so we could then continue enjoying our time rather than, like I say, running away. I don't want to run away from the situation, because then there is no communication. There is no growth from it. It's just ignore the problem. I'd rather bite the bullet and just have that hard conversation and then get back to the regular good times that we have. That's just the way I work. You should know this by now, Suvi. I'm a bit retarded like this. Jitten says he used it all to print out his cartoons. Yes, exactly. Jitten's been listening. Yep, I'd print out my cartoon pictures. So yeah, that's where I spend my money. Suvi says, oh, they was my go-to, the Power Straw sweets and pennies. Yes, they were so good. Honestly, they're the best. Honestly, oh, so good. D says sherbet, like push-ups. No, it's just like they're like little grains of sand. Like they're just like grains of sand kind of thing, but there's sugar, and they come in different flavors: pink, red, blue, green, yellow, and yeah, sometimes you could mix them and throw them in your mouth or whatever. Oh, it was just great. It was a really good sugar high as well. Really good sugar high. And they were just a penny. They were just a penny. But this is in the good old days. The good old days. Jit says sherbet is an Indian sweet syrup used in drinks. Is it now? D says beautiful attitudes. No, beauty's attitudes. Oh, beauty's attitudes. Do you want to drop us the come on Biblebot, drop us the actual verse so I can see the beauty's attitudes in the script, just so I can understand where it's coming from. D says, wow, you need to go up sometime and tell some stories. Love to hear you. And yeah, you should. Unfortunately, my story's a really long one, and I'm happy to do it another day, but I'm thinking while we already heard the first part of the story, we could continue hearing the second part of the story. But Jitten, if you do want to come up, oh, he says sure someday. Okay, so not today. Cool. It is what it is. So yeah, one day I'll finish the second part of the story in a second. I'm almost at the bottom. Suvi says you can't have such a conversation you want in front of the wildling. Sorry, but I didn't appreciate that at all. Anyways, let it be. It is what it is. I think it's important to have these kind of conversations in front of the wildlings. I know you didn't like it, but it shows the wildlings what good communication is. It shows them that two people can have a disagreement, have a normal conversation, and resolve it and be okay, where it doesn't have to devolve into shouting, it doesn't have to devolve into running away. Do you know what I mean? It shows the wildlings that it's possible to overcome anything. So that's my perspective. I understand your perspective because obviously you're a protective mum. I get that, protective mummy. But for me, it's the lead by example situation. It's the whole, if they see that two people had a disagreement, but then they had a really good calm conversation and then they hugged it out at the end, and in fact probably came closer rather than further apart, then it shows them how to possibly handle situations in the future. But that's my perspective. But like you said, it is what it is. It is what it is. We can't change it. It's happened, but hopefully we can both learn from it. And then Suvi says, yeah, and I'm not good at that kind of communication. That's why I don't want to do the communication you wanted in front of them, because I know how I am and you've seen. Yeah, but I have hope in you, Suvi. I have hope in you, okay? You might not see it, but you're better than you think. You're so much better than you think. You just don't give yourself enough credit. So, yeah, I think you can have these conversations. I've seen you be able to have certain conversations in the past, which I would not be able to have with other people. I think you're a lot stronger, a lot more smarter, a lot more wiser and articulate than you think. It's just, I think sometimes, yeah, you do. I think you get paranoid because of the whole fear of what the kid's going to think. Oh, they're going to think we're fighting. They're going to get into a bad mood because of probably past experiences. But like I said, for me, it's calm, chilled conversation so we can overcome it and show them a good example of communication. But yeah, I get it. It is what it is. It is what it is. We're not going to rehash the same old shit. But yeah, moving forward, hopefully we both are better in that regard. Suvi says, I lack some of your fantastic skills. No, see, you've got the skills. It's just the belief in yourself. You know, you need to have that belief in yourself that you have the ability to communicate. Because, like I say, it's either hope or fear. And I have hope that you're able to have the conversation, and you have the fear that it's going to go into shit. I have the hope that we talk it out and get over it. The fear is that we don't get over it and that it turns into something else. So I try and go by the hope. And I've even got the humility, because I'm happy to say I'm wrong. I'm happy to say I'm wrong about whatever. But it's just, I don't know if I am wrong unless we have the communication first. So that's it. And honestly, you need to give yourself more credit. You need to give yourself more credit. You've got the skills. You just don't know that you got the skills. Everyone's got the skills, you know, maybe to different levels, you know, maybe your communication's down here while mine's up here slightly, just slightly above, but it doesn't mean we can't communicate. It just means that I will try my best to communicate at your level so that you can communicate back at your level without having to jump up to my level, if that makes sense. I'll try my best, but sometimes I am a bit retarded, so sorry if I didn't do that. D says hope never dies. Yes, hope never dies. D says just communicate, have open hearts. Yes, that's it. But I get where she's coming from, because obviously there's probably some past experiences where communication breaks down and then the kids get the wildlings end up picking up on that and stuff like that. I get that, but that's living in the past and living in fear, where I want you to live in hope. But baby steps. We'll get there sometime. If you want to. Only if you want to. Never forced. Okay, finally at the bottom of the chat. Let's get back to the story. And oh my days, the story. Whoa. Okay, so where we left off with the story was I started walking down. The guy ran in front of me. He took 3 swings again. I dodged them all. His mates jumped me. And as his mates are jumping me, 2 of my brother's friends are walking by. They grab me, pull me out, and they said, go home. I'm like, but what about the fight? They said, don't worry about it. Just go home. And I go, ah, fine, whatever. I was like, because I wanted to get a couple of punches back, you know. I was like, they hit me. I want to hit them back, you know. I just want to show them that, look, I'm not scared to fight. I'm not scared of you. There is no fear here. It's just more about, I don't want to say pride. I want to say balance. And to show that they cannot intimidate me. Because obviously the thing with bullies is that bullies bully people because there's some level of enablement. The person being bullied is kind of enabling a little bit because they're not standing up for themselves. So I kind of understand that at some point you have to stand up to the bullies in order for them to realize that, hey, look, we don't want to mess with this guy because he will stand up for himself. And it's more headache to mess with him than it is to just leave him alone. So for me, it's just, as a kid as well, I was still always thinking like this. I was in that kind of mode. So yeah, at that point, I'm like, whatever. And I start walking home. I walk home, and as I get home, I open the door. And as I open the door, I see my brother standing there, and I'm like, they fucking jumped me. Saying like, what happened? I was like, oh, I was trying to bring them here, but they jumped me outside the shops. And as I say this, my brother grabs a sword off the table, runs outside. And then I notice that there's 4 or 5 of his other friends sitting there. And I'm like, oh shit, he decided to call his friends for a fight. I thought it was just going to be me fighting him outside the house, and he will be there just in case anyone jumps in. I didn't realize he was going to do all of this. So he grabs a sword, runs out the house, and his mates grab a metal pole, some other weapons, baseball bats and stuff like that, and they run out the house. And I'm like, oh shit, what am I doing? So I see another sword on the table, and I grab the sword as well, and I'm like, fuck it, let's go. And I run out the house as well. And like I said, I'm a fat kid. These guys are already like well ahead of me. It took me a few seconds to realize what was going on, and by the time I grabbed the sword and started running, I was already far behind because I'm a fat kid. And I'm trying to catch up to where the fight took place. And as I'm running there, I noticed that nobody's where the fight was. There's a few people hanging around, but there's no one who started the fight, and none of my brothers, not my brother or his mates are there. So I'm like, oh shit, I don't know where anyone is. So I asked someone, I say, have you seen my brother? And they're like, who? I'm like, have you seen anyone running past you with a sword? And they went, oh yeah, he went that way. So I was like, alright, cool, thank you. And I carried on running, still trying to catch up. And I finally got to the place where he was. And when I got there, so do you remember how I said half the school was outside the school waiting for me? So as I got to the place where he was, half the school was still standing there. And that's when I knew I was in the right place. And I kind of pushed through the crowd. And I got to the front. As I got to the front, I saw my brother with the sword out of the sheath against the guy who's... Do you know the guy who started the fight in the first place? Not his friends, but... oh, no. Sorry. It wasn't the guy who started the fight on me. It was someone else. It was one of his friends who did, I think, either help jump me. I think it was one of his friends that helped jump me. So my brother caught up with him, and he pulled out the sword, and he said, "Where's, I don't know what he said because I didn't hear it myself. So I had to ask someone afterwards. One of my friends from school told me afterwards. So essentially, what happened was my brother pulled out the sword on him. And as he pulled out the sword on him and he said something like, "Oh, you starting a fight with my brother?" The guy was like, "Oh no, it wasn't me, man. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was this other guy. It was this other guy." Literally saying the name of the guy who was the instigator. And he was shitting himself in front of the whole school. And then my brother, literally, as I turned up, he pulled the sword away from him and put it back in the sheath. And he gave it to me, and he was like, "Go back home with this. Go back home with this." And as he was saying this, I started hearing sirens coming. So somebody called the police. And I was like, "Okay, fine. All right, I'll take it home." So I started walking back home with the stuff. I got home, and as I got home, my dad turned up. I was like, "What are you doing here?" Oh, he's like, "Somebody called me," like someone, I think one of my brother's friends called him and told him that I got into a fight. I was like, "You were at work. Like, why the hell did they ruin your day at work? You know, you got other things to worry about. We'll deal with whatever's going on here." And yeah, my dad comes home and he's like, "What happened? What happened?" I said, "I don't know. Some random kid came up to me one day, today, tried to start a fight with me, and then he waited for me after school, and then he tried to fight with me again. And I don't know who he was." And then I also explained that they jumped me. And then my dad goes, "All right, cool. Come with me." So we jumped in the car with one of my brother's mates, and we went driving around looking for these people. And as we're driving around looking for these people, I see someone that I know is friends with him. He wasn't there at the fight, but I know he's friends with them. So as we're driving by, I said, "Oh, I think this guy knows him." And that's all I said. All I said is, "This guy, I think he knows him." I didn't say he's guilty of anything. I didn't say any of that shit. All I said was, "I think he knows him. And he might know where he is, or where he's from, or where he lives, or whatever." And literally, my dad stopped the car. My brother's mate jumped out and smacked him on the head. And I was like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" I was like, no, he didn't start the fight. Like, don't just attack people. You know, you got to know the story. You got to understand that just because he knows him doesn't mean he's guilty of anything. He's not guilty by association. He's just someone I thought he might be able to give us some information because he knows these people. So he smacks him. And then because he smacks it, and the thing is, the guy he smacked, he was one of these rude boy kind of people. He was a bad boy person. Well, he's not a bad boy. He's a really nice guy. He was a really nice guy, but he hung around with a crowd which was like bad boys who were doing dodgy shit. So he smacks him, and I get him off him, and I'm like, "No, it wasn't him. Leave him alone. I was just trying to find out about the information about where the guy is." So I think he started crying, or he got vexed and he walked off or something, and he didn't give us any information. Obviously, you know, getting smacked out of nowhere isn't nice. So we jump back in the car and we drive around for a little bit more. We can't find anyone. And then my dad goes, "All right, fuck this. We'll just go back home." The story continues. The story damn continues. I know. And this all started because of me. This is what I'm saying. I'm the problem. So we get home. As soon as we get home, so the guy that my brother's friend smacked, like I said, he hung around with dodgy people. And one of these dodgy people who was always kind of nice to us. You know, he lived opposite us. He was always nice to us. He was always like a nice guy. But we knew that he had like side dealings. But no judgment here. It was what it was. But we always kept it cool with him. But as soon as we pulled up, there's 4 or 5 of them waiting outside his house, opposite our house, waiting for us to come back. And as soon as we come back and he jumps out the car, they end up jumping my brother's mate and breaking his nose. And he gets beaten up. And I'm trying to stop it. I'm trying to pull people off, trying to tell them, hey, look, it's all a misunderstanding. It's my fault. Like, calm down, like, situation. As I'm saying this, my dad runs inside. He pulls out a little sword and he starts waving it at them, saying, come on, I'll take you all. And I'm like, no, Dad, don't make more of a fuss. You know, there's a misunderstanding here. Let's just get to the bottom of the misunderstanding. We could all walk away chilled. You know, we've already got an issue with the guy who started the fight with me. We don't need an issue with the neighbors. But my dad, he's a bit hot-headed like me sometimes. And he's waving this sword saying, come on, I'll take you all. And I get it, because he's protective. I get it. If that was my kid, I'd probably do something similar. So I understand where he was coming from, but at the same time, I wish he'd listened to me in regards to where I was trying to tell him that it's a misunderstanding. And yes, my brother's mate got a few licks, but he did punch up a little kid. So, you know, it's a balance. The balance is there. As much as I didn't want my brother's mate to get beaten up, there was a little bit of balance. It was just a bit of tit for tat. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, they've got their punches in. He got his punches in. Everyone should now leave it alone. And let's have some communication about this. But instead, someone calls the police. And then the police turn up. And then they take my dad into the nick for the night. Because he was brandishing a weapon. Outside the house. So obviously there's no running away from that. You're doing it right outside your doorstep. People will know where you live. You know, there's no running away from that. So yeah, he got taken into the nick for the night. And yeah, we spoke to the guys, the neighbors in front. We dealt with it. You know, it wasn't a serious issue. They understood that, you know, after the few licks, like I said, just a tiny bit of communication and problem solved kind of thing. But unfortunately, because of this whole scenario and the situation, yeah, my dad got thrown into the nick for the night. And I got blamed for this all. It's like, the man's getting into fights again. It's like, I didn't want to fight. I really didn't want to fight. It's just my luck. And yeah. That was pretty much it. That's coming towards the end of the day. So that was an eventful day. And you can see why I laugh at it, because it's just so ironic. It's so silly. It's so unneeded. It didn't accomplish anything for anyone. It was just a load of bollocks for the sake of bollocks. I did. So a few years later, this was a couple of years later, after I left high school, I was in sixth form. I was out and about on a special Indian occasion. There was like some Indian festival going on, and everyone in my area goes to a particular street to hang out. So I went there with all my mates and stuff. And as I was there, I met the guy who started the whole fight. I met him. He literally came up to me. And he was like walking up to me all gangster. And he goes, oh, you're Thingy, aren't you? I was like, yeah. And I recognized him. I was like, all right, what, is he going to start another fight? I was like, all right, cool, let's see what happens. He's like, you're Thingy, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, I am. He goes, oh, bro, what happened? Me and your brother were so tight. I don't know why we ended up having a fight. I was like, I don't know either. I still don't know to this day. And if you have no clue, how the fuck am I supposed to have a clue? You started it. And he was like proper like, oh, let me shake your hand. I was like, no, don't shake my hand. I'm cool with you, but we're not friends. Because you have to draw that line. You know, I can't trust you. I don't know you. Last time I saw you, you started a fight with me. Now you're still acting all gangster, walking down the street. yeah, so that was a funny little thing that happened 2 years later, which was that I saw him and he wanted to be friends, and I was like, okay, we don't have to be friends, but I don't hold a grudge. It is what it is. It's in the past for me, you know. If you wanted to start another fight now, I'll defend myself as I will, but I'm not going to be looking for a fight or revenge. I don't do revenge. I let God take care of all that side, you know. I let God take care of the revenge side. Holding a grudge or wanting revenge is more detrimental to yourself than the other person. You know, you're holding that grudge, you're holding that anger inside you. You wanting that revenge is eating away at your soul. Sometimes you need to let it go, and that's the kind of mentality I had about it from a young age. So for me, it was just like, it is what it is. But if you did start another fight, I would defend myself. I'm not scared still, to this day. I'm not scared. It is what it is. I'll go when I have to go. So that's the story. That's the story about my high school experience. I'm gonna give you one more story. This one didn't turn into a fight. It was more of a irony, stupidness thing. But this is when I got to college. When I got to college, this guy had the same name as me. His name was Deman as well. His name was Deman, and I haven't met, just apart from me and him, I haven't met anyone else with my name. So one day I was walking, guess where to? The library. I was walking to the library, and as I was on the way to the library, he does this weird thing where he's walking with his girlfriend, and then he stops, he looks at me, and then he goes and says, "I don't like you." I'm like, okay, why? He's like, "Oh, your name's the same name as my name." I was like, yeah, I know. It's cool, isn't it? He's like, no, I don't like that. I don't like the fact that you got the same name as me. And then he does this little dance and does that to my face, and then he just walks off. He doesn't even hit me, he just does that and then he walks off. So yeah, I get it from all the crazies. I get it from all the crazies. But maybe this is why I always say maybe it's something I've done. Maybe it's something I've done, you know. Sometimes I am a bit too honest. Sometimes I am a bit too straight. Mainly because I stand by the truth. I stand by the truth, and I'm not scared of anything. Like, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die. If I'm going to get beaten up, I get beaten up. It is what it is. It is, hence why me turning up to Speaker's Corner in a devil mask and telling the Muslims that they're wrong. Like, I know that that's a very easy stabbing situation. Very easy stabbing situation, but it is what it is. I stand by the truth. So that's my 2 stories for the thingy. Let's have a look at the comments. Okay. Dee's message was, have open hearts. Dee says, story continues with Dee Dee and the bullies. Suvi says, maybe at the pub, lol. Taking it out. Dee says, sword not the answer. I don't think sword. Well, I'm glad he didn't use the sword. He did pull it out, but he didn't use it, which I was glad about, because it showed restraint. At least a little bit of restraint, you know, and it also proved a point to the other people that if they were going to mess around, there's consequences. You know, there's a saying, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. It's one of those situations that, like, if you want to play stupid games, these are the kind of prizes you're looking for, okay? If you want to fuck around with someone and try and jump them, then expect some kind of retaliation in defense, not as revenge. Because we never went out looking for them again. We didn't bother. I hope my brothers didn't try out running around looking for them, and I didn't go around looking for them trying to get revenge. I was just like, it is what it is. It was a crazy experience, but, you know, learn from it. But yeah, fighting is not the answer if it's in revenge, but in self-defense it is the answer. Because you have to be able to defend yourself and others. So he says, damn, scary. Matthew 26:52. Then said Jesus unto him, put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Jitten says, damn. Yeah, I told you the story got crazy. I told you the story got crazy. Swords and everything. Baseball bats, metal poles, people getting their noses broken. Yeah. and I got away scot-free, meaning no injuries. And I was the problem. I was the problem that started it all. And I'm like, I needed some kind of smack or some kind of punishment for that because it's my fault. But no, nothing for me. D says, Revelation 19:21, and the remnant was slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. Yeah, sword of the mouth, I would say, is like the truth. The truth is more powerful than any kind of sword, like physical sword, because the truth can cut deeper than any sword. You know, the sword will kill you, but it won't change you. And I'd rather change people than kill them. You know, I'd rather give them a second chance. Like I said, when I go for a fight, I'd rather it be fists and then we walk away growing from it, rather than, hey, I'm going to stab you and win this fight. No, that's not me winning the fight. That's me losing at life. So, yeah, I'm more about the use the mouth. Hence why me and Suvi had an issue with the communication. Because I always want to talk. D says, Revelation 13:10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Yeah, exactly. So the person who's using the sword to go around killing, at that point, in self-defense, you may need to kill them in order to defend the innocent. But I'll try to disarm, like, attack them where they drop the sword, and then hopefully they learn their lesson. But if they still keep coming, then obviously at some point you got to protect the greater peace. So he's shocked at something. What the fuck? Smacked. Oh dear. Oh yeah, that guy, the random guy, when they jumped out the car. Yes, because they didn't want to listen to the full story. They were in anger mode. As angry as I was at the situation, I could still channel it and know that, hey, just because this guy knows him doesn't mean he's guilty. You know, I don't think he was at the fight, but I'm not going to assume he was at the fight just because he knows him. So for me, I was able to, even though it happened to me, I was able to put that anger to the side a little bit and kind of look for the balanced reasoning. Whereas unfortunately, my dad being my dad and my brother's mate being my brother's mate, they were a bit more angry at the situation and wanted to be protective, which I respect. But unfortunately, it was done in a way that created a few more issues than it needed to. D says, they weren't listening, Didi. Didn't hear what you were saying, heard what you weren't saying about the guy. Yes, exactly. D says, story continues. Yep, it did. Suvi says, lethal uncle. Yep. It's just, I get it. I get the protection. Like I said, if it was a kid of mine or something like that, I'd be the same in that kind of situation. I'd be like, no, nobody's fucking with my kid. Especially if they're trying to jump him and do all sorts of craziness. I'd be like, no, you go through me. But yeah, I can understand. This is what I mean. I tried. This is why I said, when I was younger, I always thought I was the problem, and because I thought I was the problem, I always tried to look for the other people's reasonings on the way they did things. And I've always been a bit of an empath. Like, I've always had a lot of empathy, and I could always put myself in other people's shoes. So for me, that was my control mechanism to not let my anger get ahead of me. Although there's been some situations where it's a bit harder to control myself, but I try my best, and that's all I can do, my best. D says, peace, no war necessary. Yes, I don't think war is necessary, but sometimes war is inevitable. Like in that situation, as much as I was trying to talk to the guy before the fight, before he tried to hit me, and then again after school when he tried to fight, and then again when he tried to hit me, there was no reasoning with him. There was no way I could find the peace. I tried every option I could think of trying to find peace with him. But yeah, he was on a warpath, and I was his target. And it is what it is. It is what it is, you know. I just did what I had to do to defend myself. Well, ish. I never even got a punch back, you know. I dodged 6 punches. And I never laid a hand on him once. So I try to have restraint, but also try to be defensive. Polymus, welcome back, says, hello friend, welcome back. Gossi says, DD blamed. Yes, I get blamed for everything. Hence why I am the son of perdition. Because like I said, I think this guy gets blamed for everything as well. This is why I can relate to this guy. Is that I get it. When people just blame you for everything, it's like they don't take any accountability for themselves. They don't try to look at things from different perspectives. They just go, oh, this guy made me do it. And that's why I'm like, I can understand his point of view, where he just gets blamed for everything that people choose to do. Sometimes it isn't his fault, it's the people who have made the choices. So yeah, this is why I kind of resonate with the devil in that regard. Not because I want to hurt people, not because I want to do crazy evil things to people, but just because I like to have a bit of fun. I like to be me, and sometimes being me and me having fun causes other people pain. And it's not my intention, it's just my gift and my curse. So he says this story would be awesome with some aloo gobi and roti. I think we had some aloo gobi afterwards. D says full day memory you will never forget. Yes, yeah. There's a lot of days I forget. You know, all of them blend into one. But days like this, I'm like, yeah, I remember the details. Because that's why I say forgive, but don't forget. I forgive, but I don't forget, because I learned something from these lessons. You know, I learned something from these experiences. Where the days that nothing eventful happens, where there's no struggle, no strife, it's a lot harder for me to remember those days, because there was no real overcoming of anything. You know, in regards to me getting kicked out of my history class, there was me having to overcome the anger and the frustration that I wasn't being understood, and instead of the teacher understanding that I was trying to learn and grow, she just thought I was trying to be a nuisance and trying to cause a disruption to the class. So she just kicked me out. So for me, there was a bit of anger and frustration about that for a little while, because I was like, as a teacher, you should be in a position where you're not coming from fear or anxiety or anger, but you should come with a level of humility and understand that people will have questions. This is why I always say, if you're teaching, be prepared for questions. And don't get upset at the questions, because if you want the students to learn, you want them to learn through understanding, not through you getting angry at what they're trying to tell you but they don't understand. You know, it's one of those, like I said, I try and learn from every situation, and these things make me learn. All these situations make me learn, and I grow from them, or try to anyway. Suvi says, thinking of your mummy's cooking, haha. So good. I just so you did ask me earlier if I ate when I came back. Yes, I did. Fresh chicken. Thank you again. It was so nicely done. It wasn't butter chicken this time. It was like dry chicken, but it was so good. Maybe I'll get you some next time if we ever meet again. D says street hangout. DD. Suvi says it's nice to hear your bro had your back though. Yes. Most of the times he was fighting against me, but yeah, when it came to other people fighting against me, he was there to help out, which I appreciated. And the fact that he had all his friends around, I did not expect that. Like, for me, you know, when you're at school, everyone's always like, oh yeah, if I got into a fight, I've got backup, yeah, what they used to say in school was, the slang term was arms. They'd say, I've got arms, bruv, I've got arms, meaning I've got people behind me. So you're not just fighting me, you're fighting all these people behind me. That's the way they'd come across before a fight. Whereas me, I've always been on my own, and I was like, oh, if you're fighting me, you know. And like I said, I like a one-on-one fight. I don't need to depend on anyone else to fight for me. I will fight my own battles. So for me, to find out that I had arms was kind of funny. It was like, oh, the guy who doesn't mention his arms had serious arms. He had fucking people turn up with swords to defend him. whereas the people who talk a lot of shit ran away. So yeah, I love. That's why I say I love irony in life. I love the irony of life. And again, after that incident, I never really rely on people behind me to do the fighting. If I'm fighting, I'm fighting, and I'm fighting and losing and taking the loss and learning from it. It's not about, oh, if you fight me, then you got to fight my brother and my cousin and my uncle and my no. If you're fighting me, you're fighting me. Okay, 1-on-1. Let's deal with this like men and walk away like men. Jin says, hello, polemist. Too much backing at Suvi. Yeah, backing, yeah. Backing, arms, back up, yep, all of it. Suvi says, scary backup. See, so sometimes they back me up, sometimes they didn't. I'm going to give you another quick story. Another story. Once again, it's a fight story. And it starts off like it always starts off, with me trying to communicate. So I think there was a situation between me and my younger brother where we got into a fight. Well, we got into an argument. And we were shouting at each other. I can't remember what we were shouting about, but we were shouting about something. And then my older brother comes in and he tells me to fuck off. He thinks I'm in the wrong. And he's telling me to go away, go away. He's like, oh, you're always doing this. You're always starting fights. And I'm like, no, I didn't start the fight. I didn't start anything. He was saying this and he was doing this. And I told him this. And as I'm telling my brother this, my older brother, as I'm telling him this, my younger brother, standing behind him, leans over his shoulder and punches me square in the face. And my brother's just standing there. And I'm like, see, I'm not hitting anyone. I'm not starting any fights. He's just punched me over your shoulder. And at that point, I lost it. And I didn't lose it completely, but I was on the edge. Where I was like, no, I need to teach him a fucking lesson because he can't be going around punching people because he doesn't agree with them. So as I go to chase him, I push past my brother and my younger brother runs upstairs. My older brother's there with two of his mates. And they're like 3-4 years older than me. And my younger brother runs upstairs and I go to chase him. I start running up the stairs. As I'm about to run up the stairs, my brother's mates and my brother start grabbing me and pulling me back down the stairs. And as they're doing this, I'm not being big-headed, but I'm pulling these three guys who are 3 to 4 years older than me up the stairs with me. They're trying to pull me back and I'm like, no, this motherfucker needs to learn his lesson because he's obviously not learned that you don't do this. And as I'm still moving up the stairs, these guys are trying to pull me back and I'm just dragging them up the stairs. And yeah, by the time I got towards the top of the stairs, I calmed down a little bit where I was like, this isn't worth it. Because right now I'll probably end up destroying his door because he's locked his door. Younger brother done what he always does, punches like a pussy and runs away. And he ran into his room and locked the door, and I knew that, okay, at this point, if I'm going to get to him, I'm going to have to break his door down, which I had no problems with, but my dad would have a problem with. So I was still in my rational mind a little bit, where I was like, okay, maybe I'll just calm it down and I'll just talk to dad later and try and see if he could resolve it. But yeah, I was pulling 3 of them up, and they didn't have my back. They didn't have my back at that point. So it's, like I said, they had my back when anyone else was fucking with me outside of the house. But inside the house, yeah, they were the ones fucking causing my problems. So it is what it is. It is what it is, you know. You got to take it all, the good and the bad. And just so you know, my dad didn't resolve it. All he said was, oh, just keep your distance. I was like, no. Keeping the distance isn't going to fix the problem of him being highly violent for no reason. You know, if we're having an argument, it's a words thing. Him punching me over someone's shoulder isn't good behavior, where he's going to have good communication with people, where he's able to handle different situations. He will always resort to violence. And yeah, for me, it was like that kind of situation. It was about trying to teach him a lesson, and my dad was just like, just keep separate. And I was like, okay, we'll do it your way, but I know it's not going to work. I know it's not going to work. And it never worked. It never worked. He was still as angry and violent as he always was. And as you probably remember from a previous stream where I mentioned the story of him starting a fight with me for no reason, talking under his breath, saying, oh, this is why everyone in the house hates you, shows you that he's not willing to have a normal conversation. He'd rather press buttons and try to get a reaction or try and fight me when I don't fight back. But yeah, nowadays, he doesn't... he tries to play games. He will try to start a fight and then he'll pull out his phone to record the reaction. And I'm like... why start an argument and then pull out your phone when I'm going to argue back? What are you trying to prove? What evidence are you trying to collect? Like, what are you playing at? Just leave me the hell alone and I'll leave you alone, you know? I want you to have a good life. I want me to have a good life. We don't need to be constantly fighting. But yeah, it was a situation where he's gone from punching first to now pushing, for waiting for me to react and then filming it. But I'm not trying to get violent. I'm never trying to get violent. I'm just trying to use the mouth. I'm just saying things how they are. But he'll pull out the phone and go, oh, look, he's going crazy. He's going crazy. It's like, no, I'm not going crazy. I'm responding to something you said. If you've just stood there and said, this is why everyone in the house hates you, I'm going to say, well, tell everyone to leave me alone. I'm not telling everyone to come hang out with me. I come home, I go straight to my room, I lock myself away in my man cave. I don't bother anyone. I try my best to stay out of everyone's way because I know I'm a problem. So, you know, if you know I'm a problem, I know I'm a problem, and I'm trying to stay out of your way, and you guys are trying to stay out of my way, then there should be no issues. You know? So, yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, I just don't like that pussy shit of punching someone and then running away. I just think that's so cowardly. I think that's so childish. I think you need to... If you're willing to do something, stand by it. That's the way I've always been. If you're willing to do something, stand by it, you know? But I guess it's my fault because I guess I provoke just being me. It's a me problem. D says, yep, draw the line. Not many true friends. Proverbs 17:17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Oh, yeah, that's definitely adversity. But it's taught me how to deal with a lot of shit. It's like all these experiences have taught me how to deal with people outside in regards to, like, the other day when I was at Speaker's Corner, I was trying to talk to someone and some other guy got involved, and I said, look, just stay out of my way, okay? Don't get involved in the conversation if it's between me and him. Don't come in and try and shout at me. Stay away. And he's like, get your hand out my face. You want to fight? You want to fight? I was like, fine, let's fight. And then all of a sudden he was like, no worries. And I was like... So I've learned how to deal with people. I know that a lot of people are a lot of mouth. They're a lot of mouth and not a lot of action. So... yeah, because of this, I've learned a lot about how to deal with people. Excuse me. Jitten says, with the crazies, Proverbs says 18:24, a man that hath friends must show himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. Jesus. Yep, that's why God is my best friend. God is my best friend. That's why I say that all the time. When I come up to my man cave, who am I talking to? Talking to God. You know, when shit goes down and everyone in the house or family or people are hating on me, who do I turn to? God. He's the only one who's been in my corner from day one. So, it is what it is. D says, injury-free DD, God spared you. Yeah. It's all his will. It's all his will. He put me in this situation, but he got me out of it too. D says, yep, the truth, the word is sharper than any two-edged sword. Yes. D says, disarm, good lesson learned. DD, yes. 100% agree, says Jitten. D says, song, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. Right now, I'm losing bad. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. It just makes you And right now you might be losing bad, but then there'll be times where you're really winning, you know. Regardless of the situation, it's just going, okay, it is what it is. What can I learn from this? How can it make me stronger? How can it make me better? And how can I move forward? Because that's what's important. D says, Didi and Suvi meet again soon. Communicate. Love of Christ be you both. Suvi says, meetings need to be on hold. D has interviews. Yes, I've got interviews for the next couple of days. I want him to be in a good space in his head, and I got kids to occupy during the half-term break. My mummy back from abroad, and I really just want to spend more time with her and eat food and cuddles. Yeah, that would be really good for you. That would be amazing for you. I'd want that as well. Yeah, spend more time with your mum, and enjoy the half-term with the kids. Enjoy the half-term with the kids. And at some point, I might ask you to swing by to collect the birdhouse if you want to go home and paint it. D says, fight story. D says, understand. Suvi says, also the man needs to get to know the other female friends. One of them sound lovely. Yeah, there's the thing is, like I said to you, Suvi, I'm not too interested in collecting friends. I'm not interested in collecting friends, but we'll see where life takes us. D says, oh well, praise God's will, for it is, if it is God, not God's will, he shouldn't want it. Should want God's will, God's plan. Yes, it's all about God's plan, and it's not just his will as well. It's not just his will. It's the will of the individual. It's the will of the individual as well. You know, Suvi, sorry if I'm about to drop you in it, but I'm just going to explain a couple of minor details. When I started hanging out with Suvi, there were certain things that she wanted, and I think she understood that I was a bit of a problem child, and she understood that unfortunately where I go, chaos comes. So there was a few things that she wanted, and I tried my very best to make sure that she got what she wanted, because I didn't want to fuck anything up for her in that regard. So I tried my very, 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 very best to make sure that people get what makes them happy as well. Not just me, and not just God, but everyone. Me, God, and her, and everyone. Everyone gets what they want. I try my best. So yeah, it's not just about God's will, it's about the individual will. I don't want God to override anyone's will. I think it's more important that people have that free will and they are able to do what they really, really want deep down. That's what's more important for me. D says, good life for you, DD. Epic life. Not always good, but always interesting. D says, hopeful future for you too, Suvi. Yes, have hope for you. Suvi says, you're a beautiful, magical problem. That's me. Yeah. D says, God lead us, guide us, and direct. Yes. Suvi dropping some love for Gossi. Gossi dropping some love for D. Jen says, our own Leov, Mr. Demand. Who's Leov? Is he like a UFC fighter? I was thinking, I did want to get into UFC fighting, I'm not going to lie. I would love to get down into that route of going into a ring and fighting people. But, yeah, I don't want to hurt people. You know, it's more of a challenge. You know, like I used to love watching Dragon Ball Z. I mentioned Dragon Ball Z a few times. There was, in Dragon Ball Z, there was like a martial arts tournament. And I really like the idea of a martial arts tournament where people go and they battle it out and they kind of like fight and kind of it's competition, just as a competition, not as in a way to just kill people or like gladiators where to the death, but it's just about have a fight and then come back the next year for the next tournament and we'll see who's improved in what area. You know, it's always just testing your skills against people. I like that, but unfortunately, not being big-headed again. I promise I'm not trying to be big-headed. Unfortunately, when I get into fights, people like the cheap shots and running away rather than an actual fair fight. And that kind of makes it difficult for me to actually get into a proper fight where I'm actually warmed up and having a good fight where it's a test of skills. So yeah, I might pick up boxing at some point. I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens with life. We'll see what happens. Never too late. TA, welcome back. Says hey now from CT USA. Welcome back. Suvi says sure, go ahead, demand. I think that was in regards to me shouting you once the bird box is ready, right? Jitten says nope. Eov is Job in Hebrew. Oh, Job. Oh. Okay, cool. Let me just read your comment again with the translation. Jitten says our own Job, Mr. Demand. I wouldn't compare myself to Job. I think he went through a lot more shit than I have. But yeah, it's life. You got to learn from it. D says Job in Old Testament. The first 5 books of the Old Testament is Torah. I think Job is after that. Okay, cool. And Suvi says not regarding Birdhouse, but conversation about me. Oh, okay. Well, it was just the fact that you asked me to make sure that certain things didn't fuck up for you, and I tried my very, very, very best to try to make sure those things didn't fuck up for you. Regardless of how I feel, what I want, anything like that, I tried to put your wants, because you made them clear. I tried to make sure that I put your wants before my own in regards to those situations. So if there was a situation where I had to choose this or this, I would choose this because it meant a better outcome for you than for me. But at least you'd be good, because I know I'm the problem. I know. So typically when I choose for myself, I cause issues for people. Jit says, not that bad, I guess. It's like, everyone gets into fights, everyone has struggles, everyone loses jobs or bullies or something. That's tough, but it's not the toughest thing in life. Well, to be honest, I think the toughest thing in life is heartbreak, honestly. That is the toughest thing in life, heartbreak. That's always hard to come back from. But you learn to roll with those punches, and sometimes heartbreak comes from different scenarios. So I guess I've had it bad in regards to I've had a lot of heartbreak because my heart's been broken a billion different times in different ways. But I think Job's family was killed, and I don't like that. That would be a crazy heartbreak to deal with. But then he did get more family in the end. But I think that would be such a tough heartbreak, which I kind of have gone through, but that's another story. TA says, demand, did Defo fan of yours after watching that big nose dip? It is what it is. Thank you, TA, for the support, but I don't want a fan. Okay, I don't want any fans. A fan means you're a fanatic. Okay, fan means fanatic. I don't want any fans. I don't mind a supporter as long as you are still walking your own journey and looking at your own life rather than trying to be like me or using me as some kind of... I'm a bad example for everyone, okay? I just try to pass on any wisdom I may have learned from my dumb life and just hope that it helps you not make similar mistakes to me. But I don't want you to be me. I don't want you to be a fan of mine. I want you to be you, and I want you to live your own damn life and be a leader in your own life and lead by example in your own life. I think that's more important than just being a fan. But thank you. I appreciate the sentiment, but D says, give and take, become one in heart. Suvi says, heartbreaks, traumas, etc. Yes. A lot of those. But the thing is, I know they're not just for me. I know everyone in life goes through those. So it's not a, poor the man kind of thing. It's like, no, everyone goes through this shit. I've been lucky enough that I had God to kind of help me through these. I didn't have anyone else in my life, but I've always had God. to kind of help me through and move forward. And that's what I want to share with you guys. It's the fact that truth, love, compassion, contentment, humility, and hope, and having God in your corner, honestly, super powerful. Super powerful. Hard, but powerful. D says, heartbreak takes time to heal. God heals the brokenhearted. Yes, he does. T says, vernacular issue. I'm a supporter. Awesome. Good man. Good man. Can be a fan of a YouTube channel. Yeah, you can enjoy the YouTube channel, but fanatic is crossing the line to, you know, when I'm going to mention some other streamers like Speed or some of these other famous streamers, when they go out, or what's the other, there's this guy in New York, he said he was going to give away a free PlayStation, or he said he was going to be at a park or something doing some kind of giveaway, and then people literally swarmed the park and they caused like accidents, they ran through the streets, they were got into fights. That's fanatic behavior. That's taking it to the next level. I don't want people to be like that. I want them to be in a place of rational thinking with the heart. The balance of the two. The balance of the two. D says, be like Jesus, fan of the flame. Yes, exactly. Fan your own flames. Fan your own flame. Fan the flame that burns in your soul. The light of love inside your heart can fade. Don't let the raging fire turn to smoldering coals. Keep the soul on fire. Fan the flames. Amen. Amen to that. Okay. I've been talking for a little while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little break. Just a small break. We'll put on a quick song. If you've got any questions about life that you want me to answer, go ahead and drop them. I guess this stream's about me today. I don't mind talking about myself a little bit every once in a while. So yeah, I've already spoken enough about myself today. So if you've got any more questions, anything else in particular you would like to know, I'll try my best not to go too much into details because I don't want to affect anyone else's life, but I will try and give as much generalized information as I can, and as accurate to the truth as possible, so that I get what I need to get across that you want to understand. But yeah, drop your comments or questions in the chat, and while you're at it, don't forget to hit the like button. It should be right there. It should be right there, I believe. Let me just wait for the stream to catch up. Yeah, there, right there. Okay, cool. Yeah, hit the like button, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Enjoy this song. We will play. Oh, it was a beautiful day today. Sun was out. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. People were dog walking and stuff. It was lovely. It was beautiful. Loved it. So I'm going to play Spring Blooms, one of my new songs. Enjoy.
Illusion, finding their way through the stones, through the clay. But the rain falls so sweet, giving strength to my feet. Cool breeze whispers my name, washes away all my pain. Now my soul feels so light, dancing free in the light. Cool breeze whispers my name, washes away all my pain. Now my soul feels so light, dancing free in the light. Springtime blooms and I break free, grow into the sun that's calling me. Your love leads me to grow to heights I thought I would never know. Morning dew kisses the leaves, dancing soft in the golden breeze. Every drop a sweet embrace, giving life with gentle grace. Hummingbirds help me take flight, butterflies paint the sky so bright. In the garden love is sown, under the sun we've always known. Springtime blooms and I break free, grow into the sun that's calling me. Your love leads me to grow to heights I thought I would never know. Morning dew kisses the leaves take flight, butterflies paint the sky so bright. In the garden love is sown, under the sun we've always known. Cool breeze still I know every struggle, every storm makes me strong. I keep moving, keep growing, keep holding on. Oh, I rise, I rise, I rise with the sun in my eyes. Oh, I rise, I rise, I rise. Love lifts me to the sky.
And we're back. And we're back. Little break there. Chat says, D said, song I sing Didi, fan the flames. Yes. Suvi says, sun was out, chilly too. Yeah, it was a bit chilly, but the sun was out. It was beautiful. Springtime Bloom is one of my faves. The beat. Yeah, I really like the chorus. The way the chorus just drops in, I love it. And the words. Yep, amazing. I'm glad you like it. Right there below the description, thumbs up. Thank you, D. Suvi says, morning dew kisses the leaves. Yes, it does. Drop some emojis, butterflies, flowers, the seedling into the flower, the sunflowers. I love sunflowers. Suvi says, summer dance song I would sway to for sure. Yeah, I was swaying away to it. I was giving a little, me and my dodgy dancing. D's drop some birds, doves and eagle. Thank you. Suvi dropping a dancing lady. She was definitely enjoying that song. D dropped a baby chick, horses, a lion, prayers, hearts, and beautiful springtime song, Didi. Yes, I want everyone to get in the mood, you know. Yes, we're still in winter, but kind of like how I said to Suvi on the stream the other day. We're not in spring yet, but winter is almost on its way out. We're in the middle. We are at wing. Yeah, it'd have to be wing. Because if it was sprinter, it would be spring going into winter. So it's wing. Winter going into spring. So we're at wing. Which is perfect because, you know, like a bird. Like a bird. I'm like a bird. I want to fly away. I don't know where my home is. D says, horse, I love it. It is me. Run free. Ah, nice. Okay, I like it. Who the sun sets free is free indeed. For sure. For sure. D says, lion is Jesus who sets us free. Wing of eagles, you shall return. You shall run and not be weary. You shall walk and not faint. Teach me, Lord, to wait. Yes, patience is key. Patience is key. I think, once again, I think that refers back to something you said in regards to scripture. Every time and every season, a time for every season, a time for everything, you know, one of those kind of situations. You gotta have patience. You gotta have patience. Excuse me. Let life unfold, and the best thing will happen for you. Don't try and force anything to happen. Trust in the plan, and trust that everyone will be happy with the unfolding of the plan, because God tries his best to make us all happy. Because we all want different things. We all want different things. Hopefully, if you come together with someone, you want the same things. But sometimes we want different things. That's why I say sometimes you walk with someone on a path for a while, then they dip out. They might dip back in, but then they might dip out again and then go off in a different direction. It is what it is. You can't control anyone else. Everyone's got free will. If you have free will, if you enjoy your free will, then make sure you allow other people to enjoy their free will too. You know, it's important. It's important. D says there's a time and a season for everything under the sun. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. So I don't see any other questions or any comments around anything else I've said or anything else you want to talk about. So let's see. How long have I been going on for? Ooh, 3 hours. 3 hours. I think that would be a nice place to end it then. I like the number 3. The magic number 3. We're at 3 hours. So I will end the stream there. I have got interviews tomorrow, so this will be a good chance for me to do my prep for the interviews. Well, interview tomorrow and then an interview on Wednesday. So this will give me a chance to do some prep before I go to sleep. But I hope you guys enjoy the stream. I hope you guys enjoy the stories. Story time with D. I hope you guys have an amazing evening, whatever you do. If you have people in your life, go give them a hug. Tell them how much you appreciate them. If you are alone, turn to God and ask him to guide you and lead you as much as he can. but you got to have an open heart in order to do that. And I appreciate you all, lovers, haters, ninjas, commenters. Appreciate you all. Love you all. D dropped an alarm clock, says good night all. Suvi says get rest, alarm for interview, wishing you all the best for the week ahead. Thank you, and you too. I hope you have fun. Keep me updated, just so I know you're doing okay. D says night DD, prayers for your interview. Thank you. Jet says all the best, man. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Honestly, I appreciate all the love, I appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys just sitting here and listening to me chat shit for a while and talk about me for once, which I don't really like to do very often, but it was kind of nice. It was kind of nice sharing some of these stories. I've mentioned some of the stories in passing, but I've never actually gone deep with the stories, I don't think. Maybe I have, I can't remember. But you know what I mean. It was nice. Yeah, and hopefully one day we could get some of you guys to come up and tell some stories too. Because like I said, this platform isn't meant to be about me. It's meant to be about everyone sharing their stories and how we can all learn from each other and grow and try and understand life in a deeper, more profound way and appreciate it more in a more loving and beautiful way. Anyway, that's where it is. Suvi says night world. D drops some love for Jitten and Suvi, and Jitten saying good night as well. Amazing. I hope you guys have an amazing evening. Thank you again. Appreciate you all. Good night all. And we will end on, let's end it on Eternal Calm. I haven't heard the song in a little while. Actually no, let's go Cosmic Dance, because I love a good love story. Let's end it on Cosmic Dance. Good night all. Bye.
So unbound and flying free, looking for the one soul, longing for me. Broken dreams create new hopes, collecting twigs to build our home. Praying the angels watch over you until the day we become true. Divine union my heart craves, a love that lasts till the end of days. I have found love and it set me free, like this cosmic dance that's walking to eternity. Forever you and me. Life can be hard and tough, always know you are enough. Let me be your rock through the storm, the lighthouse calling you home. I will always be there to shine the light on your darkest fear, dispelling shadows that linger on, reminding you that we are one. I have found love and it set me free, like this cosmic dance that's walking to eternity. Forever you and me. Let's play together in this garden of love, diving deeper into souls from above. Two flames from a single wing, dancing together by a rhythm soft yet free, moving as one in harmony. I have found love and it set me free, like this cosmic dance that's walking to eternity. Forever you and me. I have found love and it set me free, like this cosmic dance, let's walk into eternity.